Welcome to in the seventh day of 7-day FDP organized by GHG Khalsa College of Education Gurusar Sadhar under UGC Paramarsh scheme in collaboration with CT EF Punjab and Chandigarh chapter, Bombay Teacher Training College Mumbai, a constitute college of HSNC University Mumbai. Best Health Solution, Johannesburg, South Africa, on the theme Resource Mobilization, Local to Global. On day 6, our resource person, Dr. Ramesh Chandra Sharma, Associate Professor, Instructional Design from Ambedkar University, Delhi. He talked about online platforms for showcasing and sharing your research. He shared experience about various research-oriented sites through online demonstration. In his presentation, Dr. Sharma discussed various platforms for promotion of research, and these research sites are as ORCID, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Academia. Specialists are focused on ORCID, main advantages, features, account setting about ORCID. Dr. Sharma said that these sites are helpful for the researchers to maintain their sites and helpful for the researcher to maintain a research record on these platforms. Sir suggested some tips to use these platforms. He encouraged the researchers to explore knowledge by visiting these sites. The experience shared by Dr. Sharma through his presentation was quite fantastic. Dear participants, today we have two sessions. First session is with Dr. Balani. He deliberates on the topic executing project management. Dr. Balani is working as in charge principal in Bombay Teacher Training College since 2018. He has done his doctorate degree on developing a quality assurance model of teacher education program. He has presented research-based papers at various conferences in India. He has got the recognition as Teacher of the University Postgraduate Teaching for MEd and MA Education in MA Education. He got 16-year experience in the B.Ed colleges. He has taught various subjects like educational evaluation, environment education, action research, understanding discipline, and gender, school, and society. He has taught research methodology to the student pursuing MA education with the Institute of Distance Learning and Open Learning of University of Mumbai. Sir has guided 7 MEd students while pursuing MEd program with the University of Mumbai. He has guided B.Ed student while undertaking the various action research projects on the contemporary Indian issues. He has completed the minor research project funded by University of Mumbai along with his colleagues. He has also completed major project funded by UGC along with his director. He also guided several research scholars in completing their research assignments. Very warm welcome, sir. I would like you to please take up for next further proceeding.
Thank you, Dr. Manu. I am thankful to all. Good morning to one and all. I am thankful to all for supporting me. I am sorry that I couldn't join in time because of there's a little issue with the technical device, but I think it has been resolved now. So I believe that now we will have a very seamless, we can say, interaction with you all. So I'm grateful to Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha, Dr. Mandeep Kochar, and all professionals involved in this FDP program. Now, when we talk about the FDP program, it is like a sangam of all the intellectuals who come together and deliberate on the way forward uh, how to take it education to the next level. And as far as the process of knowledge generation is concerned, it is quite evident that the people and the societies who are very progressive in nature, they have got the tendency to venture into the new a- arenas of knowledge, and this do significantly well as far as generation of the knowledge is concerned. So I'm proud to be a member of such a wonderful community, professional community like this is concerned. And I'm feeling quite proud to be a part of this program. Now, the topic which I have been given uh, uh, after the thorough discussion with the organizers of this event, uh, uh, I was given a title Executing Project Management. Now, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. We are
Yeah,
able to see, sir.
yeah. So now, uh, this is a landmark project which I have done with the blessings of our dear beloved Dr. Minto Sinha, our former principal of Bombay Teachers Training College. And I'm truly thankful to her for giving this opportunity to me to be a part of this project. Now, this project, in true sense, is based on the philosophy of collaborative work and the kind of learning that has taken place by working on this project are amazing and has brought tremendous changes in my persona. And the entire credit goes to her because she was like a mother figure to all of us. And she was a leader who used to motivate BTTC faculty members, BTTC family to take up new initiatives and new endeavors and extend our own professional repertoire. So why I have selected this topic? The reason behind it that execution of any project is very very important, and as far as the entire process is concerned, and especially funded research projects are concerned, you require a thorough conceptual knowledge and understanding of the topic, and then the modalities whereas you are going to execute these projects. And then no doubt you enjoy your research work when you are working on it, but as well as the outcome of the processes and the outcome of the research is very very important. uh, and one more thing which were bothering to both of us was that we wanted a topic on contemporary issue so that it is accepted by the UGC. If your topic is not, your theme is not contemporary, then there's a tendency to reject. The project should not be theory based. The project should be dynamic. The project should be active, relevant to the present times, and project should focus on the emerging trends in the field of education. So, keeping these inputs in the mind, what we thought of the development of the multiple intelligence. Now, this concept was there in the mind when uh, I was working with Dr. Dipti Mehta Mankar, uh, and I was also uh, helping her to do the PhD. And I personally sat with her doing the data analysis, and we calculated the F test, the ANOVA together manually. So that was the engagement which started from the year 2008 to 2012. So during these 4 years, we did a thorough and rigorous study of the multiple intelligence, and the purpose of doing the study was to measure the multiple intelligence of the secondary school students of the different educational boards. So, and Dr. Sinha was the guide of Dr. Dipti Mankar, and we used to sit together and used to deliberate more on this. So, outcome of this research really motivated even to Dr. Sinha and Dr. Uh, Dipti Makar and to me also. Why to not take it forward? Because we never wanted to limit our investigation or our research only till the measurement of the multiple intelligence is concerned. We thought, why to not take it forward? So we were doing the manthan of how to conceptualize a dynamic project, how to take it forward, because we thought, why to not enhance the multiple intelligence of these students? So, what activities can be conducted apart from the regular academic lectures, like program that schools are doing? How we can think and do different things so that we are able to enhance the multiple intelligence of secondary school students. So, what we did, that idea was there in the mind. So, we did a lot of brainstorming with the BTTC family. So, all my colleagues are here. We can see Dr. Sinha over here, Dr. Maya Lula, myself, Dr. Mandeep Kochar, Raji sir, Dubna ma'am, Meenakshi ma'am, Ansari sir, Neelu ma'am, Priya ma'am, Sapna and Raju, Dr. Raju Kanduja. So we sat together in the staff room, and even Dr. Sinha was also there, and we wrote at least 8 to 10 topics. And then we reflected, and Dr. Sinha wanted a very dashing, very dynamic topic. And then this topic was selected by us finally after doing the brainstorming, and the topic was co-scholastic assessments, a toolkit for developing multiple intelligences among secondary school students. So after finalizing this, and this title was approved by most of them. So why I'm mentioning the names of the entire BTTC family, there's a very strong reason behind it. This project was not was being done by the two persons. No doubt Dr. Sinha was the principal investigator of this project, and I was assisting her. But behind me there was a team which is still there with me. So I'm proud to be a part of the team, and I got a chance to be act as a link between the faculty and the principal. So if you see, as far as the entire project is concerned, this project was not limited to the two-person, but it was a project of the entire BTDC family, who later on supported us in doing this project. So here, what we had done, we had done the resource pooling, and this is what we need to learn in our own organizations, because what I believe that whosoever undertakes a project, it should not be an individual's project, but it should be institutional project. So that kind of feeling should be there in each of the members of the professional family, and we call this family as the BTDC family. So here, what is the most important thing that we have learned is nothing but the human resource management. How we did it, let me take it forward. Now, this proposal was forwarded to the UGC in the year 2014, and in 2015 we got the letter, and then the date of implementation that was conveyed to us was 1st July 2015, and the tenure for the project was 3 years. And the total grant that was allocated for this project was 3,05,000. Now, whatever we had quoted, the amount, I think we quoted 3 lakhs, and they awarded 5,000 more. There was a very simple reason behind it. See, normally what happens, the people ask for 7 lakhs, and then the people, the persons who evaluate your project, they grant you lesser grant. This is what the normal practice. This is what I learned. But ours was a very unique project, which we had estimated on the rational basis, and then the evaluators very happy to know that something is going to happen, because this is going to be a dynamic project, an experimental study. So something is going to happen in the field, in the schools. So they were quite appreciative of selecting this topic, and that boosted our morale to work more on this project. So I think this was one of the biggest achievement when we went to Delhi for the presentation, and we made the presentation. And even after preparing the presentation, I was told by the principal that I must present it in front of the faculty members. And all the faculty members were present in BTTC, and they gave us the suggestions where we can improvise our proposal, write our objectives in a very specific manner, in a very professional manner. And even we also got peer validation by approaching Dr. Sybil Thomas. She's a wonderful professional colleague, and the proposal was also sent to her for her opinions. So there is no harm if you are working on a project and seek your peers' approval. That's most important, because we wanted to enhance the validity of the project. We wanted people's feedback. We wanted to listen to them to help us to understand how things are being planned and will be implemented. So if they can foresee some lacunas or gaps, we wanted to fill those gaps. And the feedback helped us a lot, and we could improvise our project in a much better manner. Now, concept formation. So the idea was to enhance the multiple intelligence of the students. Then the major question in front of us was how we can enhance the multiple intelligence, because there are many ways, and we never wanted to enhance the multiple intelligence the way teachers are teaching in the classroom. So we never wanted to adopt a lecture method. Whenever we wanted to touch to the traditional methods, but we thought, can we do something different? So we started doing a lot of readings, and we also looked around about the kind of books that we wanted to refer. And some of the books that we came across were not available in India, but those are available in USA. So Dr. Dipti Mankar's brother is in Philadelphia, and we wrote an email to him that if you get some books on multiple intelligence, can you purchase and buy for us? And we got those books from USA. So these are the names of these books: Seven Kinds of Smart, Identifying and Developing Your Multiple Intelligence, Handbook of Differentiated Instruction Using the Multiple Intelligence, Lesson Plans, and more. Multiple intelligence multiple intelligences in elementary classrooms, teachers toolkit, qualitative research from start to finish, integrating curricula with multiple intelligences, building A plus better teacher, how teaching works, what great teachers do differently, 17 things that matter the most. Now the content of this book was afresh, and it had mentioned so many activities that can be done in the classroom, and with those activities uh, students can be engaged, and outcome of this engagement may result in the enhanced multiple intelligences of the students. Apart from these books, there were some few more books that we also purchased for these books are available in the library, and Dr. Priya Players also helped us in searching the books on multiple intelligences, and we had purchased these books. Daily Dose, Integrating MI into Your Curriculum, Intelligence Reframed, Multiple Intelligences for the 21st Century, and Creating Extraordinary Teachers, Multiple Intelligences in the Classroom and Beyond, then Pathways of Learning, Teaching Students and Parents about Multiple Intelligences, Quick Flip Activities for Multiple Intelligences. And these are some of the research-based books that we purchased from this grant. And over the period of time, even Dr. Lubna Mansoori also has done a wonderful research. She will be presenting at 12 o'clock. She will also share with you how resource pooling helps BTTC family in enriching the library, enriching our own domain, enriching our own experiences, and enriching all totality of the experiences that we gain. So if one person takes a project in the institution, the entire institution benefits out of this. So this is the message which I would like to give it to, or I would like to share it with you, that whosoever gets the funded project in the organization it should be thoroughly shared with the staff member. It is not one person's project, but it should be the project of the institution. Now let me take it further. So this was the initial reading that we did it. We did a lot of readings and we had inputs from Dr. Dipti Mahakar's research, and then we wanted to proceed further. Now, the outcome of all those manthan and discussion and deliberation was nothing but a simple statement which was given by Rita Dun. If a child is not learning the way you are teaching, then you must teach in the way the child learns. It is multiple intelligence is all about that you identify the needs of the learner and design your activities in such a manner so that the learner gets interested in your activity and gets engaged. And if the learner is willingly, getting engaged in the entire process, I think you can maximize the quantum of learning. So let me take you further what we did. Application of multiple intelligence theory in our planning. So what we wanted to do that multiple intelligence was there. We had a tool which was developed by Dr. Dipti Makar to measure the multiple intelligence. But still, we were not comfortable with the tool, and we wanted to do some changes into the tool. And again, we did the dry run. Again, we did check the validity and reliability, and brought little changes into the tool that was developed by the Dr. Dipti Makar. So there wasn't any much we can say efforts required to prepare or construct the tool for measuring the uh, multiple intelligence of secondary school students. But the major challenge for all of us was the intervention program. So we were thinking about the length of the intervention program. We were thinking about the kind of activity that should be incorporated in the intervention program. Who will implement the intervention program? Who will conceptualize it? Who will go to the schools and teach to the children? And how the schools will be selected. So that deliberation took place with all the faculty members of BTTC, and the faculty members were given the task to sit into the groups, maybe in two or three, and think of different activities to be undertaken to enhance the multiple intelligences. So this is how the entire concept was developed, or you can say that the development of the conceptual framework was done in discussion with the entire BTTC family. So in-depth study of the outcome of the measurement of the multiple intelligence literature review was done. Study and reflection on the suggested activities of the development of multiple intelligence, which were there in the books, was also taken into the consideration. And then the identification of the core areas of school curriculum was also taken into consideration. We did a lot of brainstorming of different pedagogies, whereas we can maximize the multiple intelligence of the students. Then we prepare a list of the practical activities or pedagogies that can be done in the classroom. And then we'll also thought of strengthening the core scholastic program. So this was the one of the focus area we thought that now we never wanted to touch to the scholastic program, and we never wanted to disturb the timetable of the school, but we wanted some slots from the timetable, maybe a session of an hour, hour and a half, in the form of the workshop from the schools to strengthen the core scholastic program. Because we found that in secondary school textbook, they have got life skills, development of the life skills. Now, what happens? We wanted to put some extra effort so that we are also taking care of the curriculum. We never wanted to do any addition to the curriculum. We never wanted any program that may add up the burden of the teachers, but within the program, within the core scholastic program, we wanted to identify the components which can be manipulated very effectively in the form of the intervention program. And I think this idea was liked by most of the faculty members. And as a result of that, we will all able to focus on the lab skills as a core component of the core scholastic program of the school. and that's how we were very clear that what will be our dependent variable and what will be our independent variable. So what we thought, let multiple intelligences and its all 8 components be the dependent variable, and the life skill program, intervention program, be the independent variable for this research project. So, as I said, that we listed the title, we finalized the title, elimination round took place with the faculty members, we fixed the title, we defined the variables, we also uh, decided what should be the sample of the research. Now, what we did, we have on an average 25. Hello, echo is coming. Can you hear me all?
Yes, sir. It is better now.
Okay. Some intervention is there. Can you
Hello?
unmute? Hello.
Hello?
Okay. Shall I continue?
Yes, sir. You can continue. I request all the participants, please mute.
आहो 85 सब्जेक्ट है
There are more than 25 schools on our board, and we were contemplating that which school should be taken as an experimental, we can say, group, and which school should be kept as control. So the entire list was made, and in charges were fixed, and different faculty members were given the task. So this is what I want to tell you all, that this was a collaborative approach. 2 people were there coordinating, mentoring, but there are other 2 layers of the leaders. One is all faculty members who were made the in charges of different schools, and below them students were given the training how to conduct workshop for the 8 standard students. So 2 more layers were prepared leaders to take the project forward practically in the schools. So what we did, we prepared the UGC proposal as per the UGC format. So Dr. Sinha has wonderful credentials as a professional qualification, and her qualifications are getting fitted into the system. And I was knowing the technology, and I was a grassroots level worker, and I had implemented all those things. So she guided me, and I filled up online form, and then the entire proposal was prepared and forwarded online. We got the call from the UGC. We went there, we did the presentation, and we finally, as I said, that we got the approval from the UGC and go ahead. So in the year 2015, we started working on our project. So finally, we will be able to launch the project practically in the field. So now let us move in action, and let us see how we executed the entire project with the help of the student teachers and the faculty members. Now, meanwhile, we were also working on our literature review. We wrote the need of this study. Aim of the study were very clearly mentioned. Objectives, hypotheses were framed appropriately. Research design, we selected this experimental method, quasi. Uh, uh, I will just explain to you in further slides. And then sample of the study was also selected. Data analysis, we did descriptive as well as inferential analysis, conclusion, and the reference. Now, this is the overall view. We studied several studies, but very few studies were there where the practical activities were conducted by the researchers to enhance the multiple intelligences. No doubt in all other countries, a lot of researches were available where practical activities were conducted to enhance the multiple intelligence, and various correlational studies were also done that has helped us to identify the gaps. But as far as the Indian situation is concerned, very scant researches are available for enhancement of the development of the multiple intelligences. Now, these are the some of the reviews which I have quoted. I have written in this in brief, which I won't refer much. So the need was felt that with an understanding of the Gardner's theory of the multiple intelligence, teachers can better understand the learners in their midst and organize and facilitate the learning activities in relation to aspects of the CCE. So what we did, we correlated with the CCE.
मैं क्या सी मैं क्या थोड़ा वैसे बैलेंस है भी नहीं है नहीं फिर आपको लगेगा कि रेस्ट ही करो
Participants, please mute yourself. Participants are requested to mute yourself, please. Dr. Balani sir, you may continue, please. Dr. Balani sir, please continue. Balani sir, I think you've muted yourself. Please continue.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you for the feedback. How long I was muted?
Just a 1 minute, sir.
Okay.
Because there was disturbance, so we have to use the mute all option.
Okay, that's why I was muted.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So one more thing, which we wanted to observe in this study, I wanted to see the impact or the effect of the toolkit that we wanted to develop, and we did it also. I'm just going to share it with you. With a purpose to enable teachers to implement CC related core scholastic activities and how these will impact the multiple intelligences of the student. So I'm of the study, as I already told you, to study the effectiveness of the comprehensively developed toolkit consisting CC related school activities on multiple intelligences of secondary school students. And this was very much liked by the experts, even by Dr. Sibyl Thomas, by all the faculty members, and even by the UGC panel members. We got a very good appreciation for the selection of the topic as well as the aim of the study. They said that's highly relevant to the present times. Now, these are the some of the objectives that we have framed: objective 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whereas the major, we can say, objective was to ascertain the effectiveness of the comprehensive toolkit related to scholastic school activities and students' multiple intelligence and its dimensions, scores, when the difference in the pre-test scores of the two groups has been controlled. So we got a very fantastic results for this. So these are the some of the hypotheses, null hypothesis that we framed for all 8 dimensions of the multiple intelligences of the experimental control group, where we wanted to see the difference, the change in their pre-test and post-test scores, and again in their pre-test and post-test scores to identify what is the impact of the intervention program. So moving ahead, these are the 8 dimensions of the multiple intelligences were kept in the mind. You must all be aware about this. Verbal, linguistic, multiple intelligence, logical, mathematical, visual, spatial, bodily, kinesthetic, musical, rhythmic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. And then we started constructing the tool as per the procedure. We took the tool that was developed by Dr. Dipti Mehta, and we brought modifications to it. We did a pilot study. We did the dry run. We did calculated the reliability coefficient Cronbach alpha, which we calculated with the help of SPSS was 0.901, which is quite good. It is an indication of the good tool and the development of the toolkit. Now, this is very, very important, the core scholastic program. Now, the toolkit had these components, 10 components of the lab skills: self-awareness, critical thinking, creative thinking, decision-making, problem-solving, communication skills, interpersonal relations, empathy, coping with emotions, and coping with stress. Now, over the period of time, when we sat together, discuss different activities, to create all those things in the children, we never thought of, we can say, teaching it through science or through mathematics or through any other we can say school subject. But we catered, we can say, these things based on the real life situations. like self-awareness, how to develop a self-awareness among the children. We did it with the help of the story. We did it with the different we can say practical activities conducted in the classroom. So I think these are the some of the life skills should be developed during the school program by the teachers. So rather than focusing on just memorizing the facts, memorizing the scientific formulas and mathematical equations, solving the problems mechanically without we can say understanding the implementation and of we can say the same in the society. Like in mathematics, we teach profit and loss, we teach profit percentage, so children know how to calculate. So mechanically they are much aware about it. Or a concept of fraction, concept of percentage, concept of we can say buying and selling, losing and gaining. They learn mechanically, but in reality they never do it. So what we did to develop their critical thinking, we selected some practical real life activities, and we engage them through the role play, through the transactions, through the bargaining, through discussions. And then the purpose was to make them think and then relate the content with the real life. The same thing also took place to enhance their communication skills, their interpersonal relations. Many activities, workshop were conducted, which was totally focused on development of the interpersonal relation among the students. Certain stories were told them to enhance their empathy, and how to cope up with the emotions and the stress were the focus of the entire intervention program. And these are the some of the activities that we listed, and the student teachers were trained in storytelling, role play. Even we did that, taught them the desk yoga, because of the it was not possible for the schools to permit us to take the children in the ground. They said that if you wish to do, you do it on the desk. So some of our, we can say, teachers who were trained by our faculty, Dr. Manisha Tyagi, they were trained to do desk yoga. And we faculty members also practice a lot, I think more than 15 to 20 days in those years, whereas we used to sit in the chair and used to do the yoga. And Dr. Manisha Tyagi used to, guide us in this. She used to conduct the session. Even our principal used to participate in that exercise. So to develop the empathy, and we taught them certain prayers to them. Then we showed them different movies based on the environment. We conducted quiz contests for them. We taught them eco-friendly Ganesha to enhance their sensitivity towards environment. We played the various educational games with them. There were art and craft activities. There were activities related to the situation analysis, problem, mathematical word problem. Solving mathematical word problem was also part of the training program. Team building activities were taught to them. Case studies were presented in front of them, and some cases we did the book reviews also. So these are the some of the core activities which were part of the entire exercise of the intervention program. So now these are the some of the schools where this project was carried out. On the left hand side, we had a control school, and in each of the school, these many students participated in the activity, and then the data was collected pre-test and post-test. So the student teachers were deputed to take forward these activities in these schools, in experimental schools, and the data was collected from control schools. Pre and post, no treatment was given to them. So now this is the research design. Pre-test and post-test in intervention was given to the experimental group, and no, we can say treatment was given to the control group. Yeah. So research methodology, we did the standardization of the tool well in advance. We collected the data pre-test scores, then we compiled, we tabulated, we did the data analysis, and then we constructed the toolkit based on the life skills. Then we implemented it, and again collected the data post-test, and we did the analysis. And then again in the phase 3, we got some feedback and we revised the life skill based toolkit and implemented, okay, the same. Because actually we had reported to the UGC as far as only one, we can say, cycle is concerned, but actually we were so much motivated that we repeated this experiment with 3 batches. That was the most exciting part of this project is concerned, because we were much more interested to know to find out the difference in the multiple intelligence in different groups. When the treatment is given by the B.Ed students, when the treatment is given by the D.El.Ed students, we wanted to see, whether the B.Ed students are able to bring more changes in the multiple intelligence scores of the students, because they are more senior, they are more matured, and whether the D.El.Ed student now, since they are very young and have a lesser confidence and ability to comprehend the things, whether they are also able to do as much as be it teachers, training teachers are doing. So that was a fantastic idea that we wanted to see ourselves, but that was never the part of the this entire proposal which we had submitted to the UGC. But to our surprise, when we got the results, when we analyzed the result, when we compared, now these are the some of the observation that we did for the control group, pre-test, experimental, and control group. So there are 4 intelligences where we couldn't find a significant difference, but later on we could find a significant difference in rest of the uh, uh, we can say 5 components of the multiple intelligence. But overall, if you will see, there isn't any significant difference in the uh, statistical analysis of the pre-test scores of experimental and control group. So on the basis of this observation, it can be said that there is no significant difference in the multiple intelligence group of experimental and control group. Now let us see what is the difference between. Now I will take overall. So overall, if you see for the pre-test, post-test mean scores. No, just a minute. I'll go to the previous slide. Yeah, it's not coming full here. Can I see this? Okay. So let me take this now. If you do the statistical comparison between the pre-test and post-test mean scores between the experimental control group, you can find a difference in the mean score. Pre-test, you don't find any difference. 31.50 for the experimental group, and for the control group, 31.84, which I already shown you that there isn't any significant difference. Mathematical difference is seen, but that is appearing by chance. That is not a true difference, but the true difference lies in the post-test. Because of the intervention, what we could do, we could enhance the mean score from 31.5 to 36.48. So if you subtract this and then if you measure the gap, this is nothing but the positive intervention, positive growth that has happened because of the intervention. And whereas if you will find out the gap between the control groups, pre-test scores and post-test scores, you will find this is the natural growth. Because what happens as the children mature and grow, naturally their multiple intelligence will go high. Now we wanted to find out the difference between the 2 mean scores of experimental and control group. In relation to the pre-test scores, we found that the Cohen's D, which gives you the measure of the effect size D, that measured as 0.57. This is nothing but it's comes in the range of the median. So what we can say through this intervention program, we could bring a significant change. This change is significant and its effect size is median. And if you look at as far as all other components of the multiple intelligence is concerned, we could bring a large effect as far as this visual spatial intelligence, musical intelligence, and bodily kinesthetic intelligence is concerned. We could bring a big change, but we couldn't bring much change in the interpersonal intelligence because the change was very small, and the measurement of the change is somewhere 0.19, which is very small impact is there. So the magnitude of the impact or the effect of the intervention program is concerned, it's very encouraging, and it gives us a very good message that if the new things are done, if the curriculum is transacted in a new manner, in a different manner, in an unconventional manner, if the learner centered and it is activity based, then we are we can motivate the children to participate in the school activities. They will emerge as a better learners. And if I correlate the total effectiveness of the education in schools, what I found that most of the international schools, or we can say IGSC schools, you will find a very that difference between the pedagogies that are being implemented in those schools. These schools have got a tendency to, we can say, give more focus to the individual learners, because the teachers student ratio is very less, as well as a lot of individual attention is there. Students are getting involved in the process of the learning, whereas in the normal schools, SSC schools, and all other traditional schools are concerned, very less emphasis is given on the personal attention, and even activity based learning is missing in normal classrooms. So from this study, what we would like to suggest that we need to reduce the syllabus, the content, the chapters, because our syllabus, school syllabus is very lengthy. It needs to be cut down. We need to select the most, we can say, uh, needed content, which has high relevance with the society, and even with the life, and we need to make it more intense, and this is what is happening in most of the international schools. I don't say that we shall borrow the syllabus of theirs, but I will definitely say that we need to identify and select some of the uh, very efficient components which are there in the upcoming or emerging schools are concerned. So we need to take, and on the basis of our observation, we wrote two papers, and those papers were published. Those papers were published in recognized journals by both of us, and we got very good appreciation for this. And now we have also written a small book of 130 pages, and we have given it a title, Toolkit for Enhancing the Multiple Intelligence. So this is a small book which we have written, and it has got 7 chapters: introduction, multiple intelligences, life skill education, development of the life skill education, then strategies to develop life skill education, activities of the toolkit has been elaborated, and then empirical evidences of this research has been included in this book. We haven't published this book, but we intend to publish this book in near future. Uh, Unfortunately, madam is not there with us. She expired on 11th of November, I think so, November or December. We lost a mother like her, and but her blessings are with us. Her blessings are with us. So I'm thankful to her for being always there. So now some of the documents that we wanted to submit with the UGC. So whosoever is planning to undertake the funded research project has to have prepare at least very meticulous, error-free progress reports in the form of the thesis. Then the accounts should be thoroughly audited by the chartered accountants, mentioning the statement of expenditure. You need to have audited utilization certificate by the competent authority, as I said, that auditor. And then you also need to provide field details of the field work that you do and submit with the UGC with a duly filled and signed a mandate form to be submitted to the UGC, which we did it. Now, I was very novice in this area and I was not knowing much about it. So Dr. Priya Pillai, she's expert in this, and I think she has taken a wonderful webinar on this. she was the main guiding force. She mentored to the madam and even to me also in preparing the documents to be submitted to the UGC. So I am thankful to her also. So outcome of the research, in my words, if you wish me to say, is nothing but improved understanding of the academics and its relationships, acquisition of the research skills, technological skills, collaborative learning, project management skills, team building, knowledge generation, and development of the leadership skills at all the levels, even from top to the bottom, even grassroots level, even among the students also, because we consider them as co-researchers. So with this project can be considered as a collaborative research. Teacher training, you can say it was the teacher training, development of the pedagogical skills, mentoring and resource pooling. These are the some of the we can say adjectives that can be used in order to we can say describe the outcomes of this research project. So I think I have done my job. So I have shared my experiences with you. If you got any questions, you can ask me now.
So participant can type their questions. We are enabling Zoom chat.
There is no question
So
till now.
participant can type their questions in the Zoom chat, or they can raise the hand so that we can give audio control to them. Dr. Manu ma'am, kindly check any comments on YouTube and Zoom chat, please.
Dr. Parkat, there are not much questions there on the YouTube, neither on the Zoom chat. But anyhow, if the participants have to ask any question, we'll just unmute them.
Sir, can I ask one question, please?
Please, sir. Please, sir. Yeah.
Sir, you have beautifully explained the whole process of executing your research project. Sir, I would like to ask what problems have you faced during the project work, and what was the major or biggest challenge you faced during this period of executing your research project?
Very honestly speaking to you, at none of the point we thought any obstacles. The reason is that whenever we used to have challenges, we used to consult, communicate, and seek guidance from. I forgot to tell you that we had to send this report to the two experts, and after the completion of the report, it was sent to Dr. Sibyl Thomas and Dr. Susama Samuel, principal of St. Xavier's Institute of Education. And even I can share with you the kind of remarks that they have written are amazing, amazing remarks. Both of them have written. And we had a challenge when we were conceptualizing or developing the intervention program. That was a truly a very critical time for us, because we are not able to pinpoint, from where to start, where to finish, because a lot of literature was available with us. A lot of activities were mentioned in foreign books, but no, we were not able to correlate. We were not able to identify how we can go and implement the program. But later on, what we thought, why to not interact with the entire BTTC faculty? And we had a even today also we have very wonderful open environment, whereas all the faculty members, irrespective of being a junior or senior or at any position, is free to contribute and say what he wants to say or she wants to say. So because of the open environment, faculty members could open it up, could share their ideas, and then as I told that we were divided into the groups, we worked on different activities, we chalked out, we planned it, and we shared it, and it was accepted. So I think if you are open to the communication, open to the suggestions, if you receive the feedback with open heart, and if you are ready to change your predetermined mindsets or whatever is there, whatever you might have thought, I think things become more simpler and easier to do. And none of the time in these 3 to 3.5 years, I couldn't experience even a kind of little stress also, not even a 1% also. Everything went very smoothly. A lot of communication that took place between the faculty members, between the student teachers, in collecting the data and compiling the data, and even we can say doing the analysis, posting the results, doing the analysis, preparing the PowerPoint presentations. I made PowerPoint presentation, which was given to Dr. Priya Pillai to do the proofreading before it is to be presented in front of the experts. It was also handed over to Dr. Raju Taleja to bring in changes into the PPT to make it more aesthetic. So I think with a collaborative approach, many things can be achieved in great peace and harmony. I think this is the major outcome of the entire research project is concerned.
Yes, sir, you have truly said that we can overcome any issue or any problem with the cooperative effort as a teamwork. So you haven't faced any big problem because a teamwork was with you. So it is a very good suggestion.
All the faculty members are there, sir. You can ask them. Dr. Lubna Mansoor is there, and other faculty members are also there on the platform. I will request them to share their experiences. Even Dr. Priya Pillai is also there. So BTTC family members, please share your experiences, how you were involved in the entire process. So it was not a project of Dr. Sinha or of Dr. Balani, but it was a project of Bombay Teachers Training College.
Wonderful.
Dr. Balani, there is a question from Dr. Ravneet Chawla that how did you document the contribution from the team? And I think that is also very important to be shared over here, that you had been assigning to them and assisting to them. Did you update the steps on your institution website, or did it, I mean, before the completion? So if you can read the chat, there is a question for you, the documentation of the contributors, which was informal contribution of the team.
Yes, I believe that this is a wonderful question, and I must apologize to all my colleagues. We never thought about it, and we never got feedback like this. If we would have got this feedback, we would have implemented it. So I will request Dr. Meenakshi Lat and Dr. Raju Talarija to do the needful and give credits to all the faculty members for putting their efforts for making this project a grand success. So we will do that, sir. We welcome your suggestion, and I regret that idea never came in mind to put it on the BTDC website. And such kind of content is not there, and even we are also contemplating what kind of content that we need to put up on the website, that much is to be yet explored, because as far as college's website is concerned, we need to learn a lot. This is not only about the project I'm talking about, but there are many things that are happening at Bombay Teachers Training College. Students are getting involved at different levels. Students are being projected as leaders. They are being delegated a lot of important things. They have been doing a lot of work, digital lesson plans. They have got their own YouTube channels. Many things, their achievements, faculty's achievements, many things are to be uploaded on the website. So I think this domain we haven't yet explored, and we must explore it more, and we need to give due credit to the contributors at Bombay Teachers Training College. So holistic, I think planning is to be done and to be implemented to share such type of, we can say, achievements with the society through the website. So I fully agree with you, Mandip ma'am, and thank you to Navneet Chawla ma'am. Ma'am is our sir.
Yes, sir. Ms. Chawla, there is another question which wants to take some tips from you, how to finalize the topic of research project after considering the opinions given by the different subject experts. So I hope Dr. Ajay
Mandip madam,
Behara.
yeah.
Could you
Madam,
take
one
the
thing is,
question, sir? Could you hear the question, sir?
yes, 100%. Mandip madam, one thing is very sure. Even Dr. Sinha used to say that I am not interested to take any theoretical, descriptive type of research. वो UGC आपका एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करेगा. I want a dynamic project. I want a research project whereas maximum involvement is there, and we must move in the direction where we want to see the change. And your topic should be contemporary. Your topic shall bring in change, or generate the knowledge which shall contribute in the existing we can say knowledge. That I think subject theme selection is very important, and we must not select the projects which are survey based, but we must select the projects which are dynamic, where maximum stakeholders are involved in the process. I think if the projects are selected in this manner, then I think those projects will benefit all the stakeholders, not only the researchers or the people involved into that, but all the stakeholders of the society. So even
Okay,
as far as
sir.
this
Yeah, thank you.
as far as this project is concerned, this project clearly suggests that we need to change the pedagogy. We need to keep this learner at the center. We need to we can transit the curriculum which is highly activity based. Socialized group learning activities are concerned, where students are put into the teams, and then they develop the empathy, communication skills. They are they develop the resilience power. They become more mindful. That they should have the ability to cope up with the stress, cope up with the emotions. These are the things which are much more important than the academic knowledge, than the knowledge of the geography, than the knowledge of the history. And that's why even as far the Western world is concerned, the Western world is contemplating to change their curriculum, because they have realized that the social emotional learning is very important. And if it is taught at the at the in the beginning of the we can say child's education, it can bring a lot of changes in the child's personality. We can make the child more socially responsible citizen of this global world. So I think that researches like these are needed to bring a lot of changes into the society, so that when they grow up, they do not become corrupt, they do not get into and get indulged in the antisocial activities, but they shall emerge as the true education who shall work for the cause of the welfare of the society.
Thank you, sir. I think the moderators can take up more questions. And there is Dr. Gangu who has put up his hand. And if hosts can unmute him,
Yes,
he
ma'am.
can be.
Given him
Good
the
morning, sir.
request. We've given him the request. Dr. Gangu, you may unmute yourself.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Good morning, sir. This is Dr. Gangu Naidu Mandala.
Yes, sir. You can go
So,
ahead. Do your question.
nowadays, if you observe many researchers, for example, if they done research on different areas, for example, some people they may do on curriculum development or secondary educational, elementary, or in management, different specializations are there. The people what they do, if they do research work in particular one area, maximum people they are concentrating on that area only. The people they are not doing in multiple areas. So can you suggest to do in different areas? Don't concentrate in particular one area. Can you suggest to all the people can do research in different areas, and with your experience and how to do that one?
Yes. One area which we have found is that now during last 11 months, we all the faculty members from Bombay Teachers Training College were involved in giving the training to students online. And what we have realized that without spending a single we can say page or a piece of the paper, we did everything online, everything digital. So we have created thousands of certificates, thousands of programs, thousands of say these brochures. We have seen it, and we have learned how to store it, how to retrieve from the portals. I think this is the one area where we need to give training to the student teachers. Another thing is that there is a lot of scope to use LMS and then synchronous and asynchronous communications, whereas we can make the student teachers technology efficient, and we also need to develop the learning apps. Whereas a teacher can, from the home can cater to the needs, can teach to the rest of the world. Like one of our alumni, Dr. Mitesh Gala, he has developed the learning app. Initially, he had created 250 videos which are available online on YouTube on the different topics in mathematics, 9th and 10th standard. But and he has got more than 10,000 viewers. And now what he had done, he had converted all those videos in the form of the learning app, and in a very consistent price, maybe very meager amount. He's going to register the participants to learn mathematics through his videos. I think his videos are very excellent videos, and he has got a very good appreciation from the society. So we need teachers like Mitesh Gala. We need content generation, e-content generation in subjects like history, geography, and many more subjects. Whereas we should be such kind of content should be available to the students, on a click. Those should be free of cost, or we can say if not free of cost, but it should be at the reasonable price, so that even a poorer student should have the access to have online education. I think these are some of the areas which we have recently explored the most, and I think these are the areas where most of the students who are living in the rural areas should be connected with the devices and should be taught all those skills, how to learn online. It's a high time for all the teachers to say no doubt go digital and reach out to the we can say remote areas, especially the rural areas, and connect, and we can do the difference. I think rural area is concerned where you can undertake so many projects. You can be attached with the different group, maybe the tribal girls, boys, or in the semi-urban areas where they do not have access to the quality education, and such social projects can be undertaken, and we can do a lot of difference in as far as these communities are concerned. So these are the some of the areas where if we'll get the chance, we would like to explore more.
Thank you, sir. Yes, there is. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Blani sir, for sharing your valuable ideas on the topic or theme, executing project management. Through one experimental research for scholastic assessment toolkit for developing multiple intelligence among senior secondary students. Sir, elaborate how we use or integrate multiple intelligence in curriculum. Also explain about various applications of multiple intelligence in the field of education. How we develop conceptual framework for our students. On the whole, lecture was full elaborated the experimental study on the dimensions of multiple intelligence with various findings, and that findings are used in further research. Blani sir also give full detail about how we prepare and submit research projects to authorized authorities like UGC. Once again, thank you, sir, for sharing your views in a wonderful way. Now we move on second session, and today's second session is with Dr. Lubna Mansoori. Just I'm sharing screen.
Manu ma'am, shall I request our faculty members from Bombay Teachers Training College to share some of their experiences?
Yes, sir, sure. Yes, sir, sure, sir.
Lubna ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you share some of the experiences the way we used to, discuss?
There would be a lot of discussion that we would do on the project that we had undertaken. We also pondered upon I would say we would take long discussions would take up on multiple intelligence, because it was a field which we all were wanting to know more about it. So we would each faculty member would come up with I would say it would come up with the the lacunas that were there in the project. We all were happy with the way the project was going on, but since it was an experimental one, we all were new to it, and we were trying to explore more opportunities to understand the topic in depth. And we all guided the students in depth about how to make their lesson plans. There was lot of discussion on what would take place on how we would develop the lesson plan. Basically, the lesson plans, we mostly based it on the cooperative learning strategies and also on the constructivism approach, where we made the students understand that everything cannot be planned. Some things need to be done at that situation. And the feedback that we got from the students were like, students were really happy about the way they conducted the lesson, and the students in the schools were happy about these sessions, because lessons on music, lessons on kinesthetic activities were not done with them. So we all felt that it was a good project and the topic was very apt, and not many schools have taken up such type of project or such type of lessons. These were my observations that I could understand from what we did.
Dr. Bhagwan Balani, although I am not a part of the project, but one thing, like being a collaborator, since we are into collaboration since last 3-4 years, and I'm sure Dr. Pargat will agree with me, that there is something, probably I can say under your in chargeship or your team, that we can see that we feeling that maybe your openness, maybe your acceptance of ideas, that we can see that we feeling in the BTTC team. And so I'm sure that the project, although it was a major project with so many participants, it surely would have gone very well, because that we feeling in you is visible in all the activities that we've been carrying in the last 3-4 years since our collaboration. So for that, the credit goes to the team head and all the team members. So congratulations, Dr. Balani, for that.
Thank you, ma'am. May I request Dr. Rajiv Jha to share some of his experiences, because they have contributed the most in this project.
Yes. Over to Dr. Rajiv Jha, sir. You can unmute yourself, I think.
Yes, I think Rajiv Jha sir is also co-host.
Yes, sir.
Rajiv Jha.
Yes.
Rajiv Jha, sir, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Rajiv, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes,
Rajiv,
Dr.
sir.
Rajiv, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Anji, you are audible. You're audible.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Manu.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Balani, for the invitation to share some of the perspectives that we had got during this particular project. Um, Multiple intelligence basically was a topic that we used to do in education psychology, and that's how probably Dr. Minta had this idea research funded project. And the thing that when we began our discussions, the first thing was reviewing the literature. And when we reviewed, I still remember I posed a question to Dr. Balani that show me the review where the practical aspect of it has been done. Most of the times it has been surveys, like Dr. Dipti Mehta Mankad. She also did a survey on the existing profile of the subjects, participants with respect to multiple intelligence. But implementing multiple intelligence and looking at whether we are increasing their dimensions or we are increasing a particular area of multiple intelligence, such research studies we did not come across much. And that is how I do remember having a discussion over only this particular issue for an extended period of time, each faculty member of Bombay Teachers Training College doing a literature review and coming out with their perspectives. I think that is where this project got the strength, that you need to select a topic which is contemporary, and as well as you need to pay attention that that should not have been taken up or explored much, so that it becomes a unique topic to be funded by a agency, and that too in this case it was by UGC. So this is one of the collaborative way in which we brainstormed, we argued, and we argued with wholeheartedly with each other. That the logic and the I would say counter arguments that all went to make this particular topic fit for the funding. So this is which I do remember, and this is an indication to all that we need to see that perspective of the topic which has not been touched upon, which needs the gap in the review of related literature. The gap needs to be identified, and that is the justification for taking up the project. um, Besides this, then the second aspect after the project was granted, then the second aspect was that how to take it forward now, how to do it. And I think in that Dr. Belani has already explained, Dr. Lubna also has commented upon it. Here I would say once again, the democratic vision and the working style of Bombay Teachers Training College was put into practice. Each of the faculty members took upon voluntarily the area which appealed to them the most. It was not that we do not know the theory, or we do not know the implications of multiple intelligence and how to put it into practice. The only thing was, while executing collaboratively, we pulled up our strength, we divided the areas among ourselves, and we had a very good orientation. When I say good orientation, it means the execution of it. So each one took one area, and we developed lesson plans in all the pedagogies. Dr. Belani, I also remember we have taken the whole college. So even the DLED, the diploma in elementary education students, were pulled in into this particular project. The idea at that time was that since it is an institutional project, though it is granted to Dr. Mintu Sinha and Dr. Bhagwan Balani, but the idea was it was an institutional project, so let the whole college benefit from it. So we developed the orientation. That also, each member, when we prepared the orientation, we discussed it with other members, took inputs for different pedagogies, how we can go about it, and that is how we went ahead. I remember I particularly presented on kinesthetic multiple intelligence, being an area which was close to my area of specialization. And that is how we went ahead and presented the orientation. We told the students how they can make the lesson plans. However, we did not dictate them. Then the students were made leader. So Dr. Belani has mentioned about two level of leadership, or in fact three levels, from the project collaborators, the investigators, the principal investigators, to the faculty members, and from faculty members to the students. And that is how lesson plans were being put by us. We were guiding them. We were not putting our ideas into their head, but in fact, we were enriched by their ideas. So it was a reciprocal relationship that we have established between the faculty and the students, and that is how we carried on this particular implementation of the practical aspect, experimental aspect of the research. I think this is something that made this project quite successful, and probably laid the foundation of many such collaborations that we then took upon till today. I hope, Dr. Belani, I could add value to this particular theme that you have started. Thank you so
Thank,
much for the opportunity.
thank you, Rajesh sir. You have been an inspiration to all of us, even Dr. Lubna, also Dr. Mandeep Kochar. So I think the unique combination of the professionals we have come together and we are learning together, and we are lifelong learners. And even we have also discussed this policy in our staff meeting that now henceforth all the teachers at Bombay Teachers Training College will undertake collaborative researches, because we have benefited the most from this process, and we have developed that level of temperament among ourselves. So I think it's a high time to go collaboratively rather than existing in isolation.
Dr. Balani, I wish to take one moment with your permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I clear? The audio is clear?
100%.
Okay. I just wish to share with all the participants on this platform. I think that was the first experimentation with all of us on multiple intelligences, which till then we just had been teaching theoretically. We just had been telling the bookish language to our students, to our teachers. Multiple intelligences should be there in our course, it should be there in our practices, but we have not tried till then. We, the teacher educators, have not tried till then, and we kind of almost we were pushed into it. Just do it, and you have to do it because it's a project, we all have to do that. And the outcome of the project turned out to be so excellent for each one of us. We learned how to implement multiple intelligences in our own practices. Till then we were just reading Gardner, we were teaching to students, we may say that school teachers had not been doing, but I would say even teacher educators had not been doing till then. So when we learned how the lesson plan has to be through multiple intelligences, that was the best practice or best outcome that happened out of this project. And I feel I am really happy about it, that we all turned out to be more creative, more innovative, and we learned how to implement multiple intelligences on our daily practices of Bombay Teachers Training College. And credit goes to our the then head, late Dr. Mrs. Mintu Sinha and Dr. Bhagwan Balani. Thank you for taking this initiative, sir.
Mani ma'am, can we pay the tribute to her by maintaining 1 minute silence?
Yes.
So I
Yes,
will
sir.
humbly request all to, we can say,
I think we can, all those people who are on the Zoom, and Dr. Lubna Mansoori, I hope we are not encroaching on your time. It is only one moment. We can put our cameras on, and we have lost very beloved principal of ours who had actually taken this institution to a very high score of NAC, and in her tenure only this institution has reached to that level where now we are a university. So she set the platform for the institution to be a university. So I request the host to please, we can allow the people to put their cameras on, and we can pay the homage for one minute silence to all the participants on our Zoom. And Dr. Mansoori, with your permission, if you can stop, if you can stop screen sharing.
I have not shared, ma'am. I have not done anything.
So I request the participants, if you can put your cameras on, and we will have the picture of this participation also. A great honor to Dr. Mrs. Mintu Sinha. She has given almost 31 years of her career, of her professional life, to Bombay Teachers Training College. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all dear participants. As I keep saying, that research cannot be injected. Research is something which is intrinsically to be motivated amongst us. So this one moment of silence really inspires us from within, that at one point of time when we have reached in our professional career, research is something which needs to be looked upon passionately. So that passion needs to come from within, because there is no end to research. It is always a beginning for research. Thank you, Dr. Bhagwan Balani. Over to Dr. Pargat Singh and Dr. Manu Chadda for the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Now we move to second session of seventh day of FDP program. And in this session, our resource person is Dr. Lubna J. Mansoori. She deliberates her viewpoint on the topic sharing experiential learning. Ma'am has currently working as just yes. Ma'am working as associate professor in Bombay Teacher Training College, Kulaba, Mumbai. She has 17-year teaching experience in the field of teacher educator. She is MA in English and Sociology, MEd, NET in Education, and PhD in Education. Dr. Lubna completed a major project funded by ICSSR New Delhi on the topic life skill education for students. She recently received a minor research project from University of Mumbai. She presented paper at Harvard University Boston and International Conference for Social Studies, Humanities and Education, Dubai. Ma'am published paper in peer-reviewed journals at national and international level. Ma'am conducted and organized workshop for teachers in soft skill and interview training. Dr. Lubna believed that everyone is unique and possesses ability and capabilities, with others must respect and accept it. She believed in learning for life and is a lifelong learner. Now I invite Dr. Lubna J. Mansoori for further proceeding. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all the dignitaries, resource person and participants. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Manu ma'am. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Kem Cho. I'm here. I would like to share my experiences about the major research project that I conducted in the year 2016, 17 and 18. I would like to share something with y'all on the basis of how I conducted my research project. This was an individual project, and I would like to start my session by few quotes. Few quotes on this particular topic. The whole project that I conducted was on this particular quote. Excuses are what confine people to their current situation. Excuses are the false reason that hold people back from taking action. Action is the key. May these quotes motivate us to become an action taker and not an excuse maker so that we can make our dreams a reality. Success occurs when our dreams get bigger than our excuses. Make excuses or make changes. The choice is yours. So I thought of making a change, and therefore I sent a research proposal to the ICSSR, and I wrote a major research project on the title Life Skills Education Program for the Marginalized Students of 8th Standard and Experimental Study. Now, my topic was on the cognitive life skills education. Now, the cognitive life skills education included 3 life skills, that is critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. And the the moderating variables that I had taken, since it was an experimental design, I used psychological well-being, socio-economic status, and gender as the moderating variable. Since it is an experimental design, I use the experimental, quasi-experimental design of pre-test, post-test, non-equivalent type. And my sample of the study was SSC school students. Now, why did I take up the life skills of cognitive life skills education program and not any other life skills education program? As you know, before we do research, we do the review related literature. When I did my review related literature, I found out that there were many studies conducted on emotional life skills and social life skills. As you must be saying that it's always a researcher talks about that very few studies have been conducted. But literally, I could not find studies on cognitive life skills where all 3 cognitive life skills were included. There were studies which included critical thinking, in problem solving, but they were taken as individual variables. So my independent variable was making or preparing a life skill education intervention program. In that, I had these 3 dependent variables and 3 moderating variables. And the experimental design study that I took, as I said, was the quasi pre-test, post-test, non-equivalent type. Now, I have quoted this site. I would like you all to see this particular ICSSR site. I will show you all later where they have given the details about the project. Now, how did I start my project? I did my PhD in 2008. And after that, I had got a minor research as a joint project in 2009. After 2009-10, I had not taken up any research work. So I felt stagnant. I felt that I need to do something. I need to take up some sort of research. And this was suddenly I thought of going up and making up this research project. So I prepared the research project, the proposal. Now, how did I prepare the research proposal? The research proposal format. Now I'm going to focus only on the ICSSR project. If you have to go ahead for a major research project and you have to submit it to the ICSSR, you will prepare the research proposal in 2 parts. Part A will consist of the summary of the research proposal, that is 1,000 words. This would be like an abstract that you will be giving, which is required by the ICSSR. And part B, a detailed research project about 500 words for the major research project. Now, for major research project, the budget is 5 lakhs to 15 lakhs. And my budget was 7 lakhs 23,000 that I had quoted. And the award that I received was 7 lakhs. Now, preparing the proposal. I prepared the proposal in the following manner. Application for the research project. This is what the ICSSR wants from the researcher to be submitted at the initial stage. My presentation is the pre-stage and the post-stage. Now I am talking about the pre-stage. What did I do in order to get the major research fund from the ICSSR? So application for the research project, that is major, which consisted of the basic information about myself, that is how many years experience I had, what did I do, what earlier researches have I done. Then it was the proposal for the major research. I will show you in major research, these are the outline that you have to follow in order to make the proposal, which is common for everything. When you have done your PhD also, when you've done your MPhil also, any sort of research, when you do, these are the headers that we use. That is the title, introduction, aim and objective, conceptual framework, research question or hypothesis, review of literature, scope and methodology. Now, if you see these part, relevance, anticipated outcomes, proposed outcomes from the research, tentative chapterization, time frame, all these are something new that we need to think and we need to reflect and we need to do it. So all these things we need to make. This is the major research. This is the outline on which you will be preparing your research proposal, and this is what is expected. Then you have to give a declaration that this is your original idea and you have not borrowed or you have not undertaken any research prior to this. Then the annexure 2 consists of your full biodata from your educational qualification, that is from SSC till the current, whatever you have, and the research papers that you have published, all those. This is a format given by the ICSSR. Then the cost estimation, a separate tabular form is there where you have to fill up the cost estimation. This is the cost estimation that you need to fill up. Research staff, full-time, part-time, they have given certain percentages for each, under which if you have quoted 7 lakhs, then what would be the 45% of that for the research staff? So these are the percentages under various broad heads that we need to make our budget. So first comes the research staff, second comes the field work, travel, logistic, boarding, which is 30%. Then comes the equipment, books, software, data, etc., printers, whatever you have. From that amount, you deduct 15%, you make it into this. Contingency not exceeding 5%, publication of report 5%, and total 100%. Now, from this, you have to contribute to the institution. You have to give the institution 7.5% of the major research funding that you have got. So I got 57 lakhs, from which 52,000 was given to the institution, since the institution will be supporting me for the project. So this was the cost estimation that I made. Then a forwarding letter. Again, there is a format given by the ICSSR about the forwarding letter by the head of the institution, where you declare that there is no objection by the institution for me to conduct the research. And then a short summary that I said, which consisted of part A, a concise summary and abstract. So it literally took 3.5 months for me to prepare this research proposal. Okay, this was my budget. This is how I made my estimation, costing, and everything. Where 3,50,000 was given to the full-time and part-time researchers. Then field work. Now, in this particular field work would be everything from going to the school, taking permission, to you go attend conferences. Everything is part and parcel of lodging, boarding. Now, if you read the site of ICSSR, it says that you cannot go foreign trips. But if you want to attend a international conference or anything, you can use, but there are certain criterias which you need to keep in mind. Then I also had the software, the sources material software. I gave 2,74,000 for that. then other contingency was 40. So I bifurcated my 7,23,000 into the percentages that I so this is what is ideally asked by the ICSSR. Okay, so budgeting I have done with, this was the initial stage where I prepared my proposal for 3.5 months. I did the budgeting along with it, submission of the research project, which I showed you the step, annexure 1, annexure 2. So annexure 5, you have to submit along with the hard copy. And I was asked to come, go to Delhi and present my proposal in front of the experts. Now, this is a very rare case. It happens, but I was asked to give an explanation with regard to my moderating variables, controlling variables, and a detailed presentation where I had to do an overall presentation. And later on, after this presentation, I received a mail where it stated that you've been awarded, and the duration of my project was 18 months, but I had written 24 months. If you see the ICSSR site, the major research projects are for 24 months, that is 2 years, but I was given 18 months to conduct. So I conducted this particular research in 18 months and submitted my project. So this was the pre-part that I have done. Now, I adopted the management process in managing the project. What did I do over here? I planned. How did I plan? I initially, as a project, I was called the project director. Now, everything, all the letters, everything came to me as a project director of the project. So I was called the project director. Now, planning, I had to see that I had to balance everything. So initially I started my planning by identifying how many, first and foremost, I identified my team. I requested the Department of Education, Mumbai University, to help me with a research assistant who can be a student of MEd who has done research earlier, so that he or she can understand where I am heading and what I am doing. So first and foremost, I identified my team. That is, I planned with regard to the team members. I planned with regard to the lessons. I planned with regard to the schools that I'm going to identify. I myself planned which school I will go and take the permission. I personally went and took permission from schools and identified, explained them the whole project. Also in planning, I did the lesson planning, who are the experts whom I am going to give my lesson plans. Now, organizing, I oriented my team members that how are we going to go. Now, my project was for 18 months, but I gave myself a deadline of 15 months. I said I need to complete my project in 15 months, and therefore I planned out everything accordingly. So I organized all the activities that I'm supposed to. I oriented my team members. I told them how many lessons we are going to do what in the lessons, what methodologies we are going to do. I structured the whole lesson plan, how I'm going to make the lesson plan. So everything was done. The decision was mine, and I had to execute it with my team members. I kept motivating my team members, inspiring them, and I also gave them salaries. I told them that certain amount would be given to you. So I hired these people for 8 months, and with that I completed my project. And later on the chapters also I requested my team members to do. So everything was under. So I adopted the management process, that is planning, organizing, leading, controlling, which is to be done by the project director themselves. Now, my journey began. How did it begin? With planning and organization, plan the duration of the project. Always I have remembered, as I began my session with excuses. Life is full of excuses. I know we are teachers, we are teacher educators, but certain times we have emergencies coming up in our lives. And therefore, we cannot keep things at the end moment. So with me, I always take a deadline 3 months ahead and I work towards it. So I planned the duration of the project. I divided it into different parts. That first I will go, I did all the base work. I took permission from the school. I went and explained the principle that I will be needing 3 lectures per day in a week, 3 to 4 days we will be visiting. And the school was really very cooperative. Then I selected the team members. As I told you, I had 5 members in my team. One was the technical assistant, the typist. One was the research head, one who has done. Now, when you're selecting your team members also, there are criteria given by the ICSSR that the research associate, the head, should be a PhD and should clear NET. So I had identified a principal of a particular institution of teacher education. She was my friend who supported me in this, and I identified a student from Department of Education who had just completed her MEd. So there are certain qualifications that are required in order to select the members. And I told them that this much salary I will be giving you if you can give me your time and effort. So they were really very, very sincere, very, very dedicated towards it. Then I explained them my whole process. I will just show you the uh, my uh, my overview of the research. How did I go about? I designed and developed the intervention program, that is the 3 E's: empowering, enhancing, and enabling. So this was the name of the module that I gave to my intervention program of life skills, that is 3 E's: enabling, enhancing, and empowering. Now, why did I take up these SSC students? I saw that the schools which I visited, the SSC school students did not have much exposure to the other environment. So I felt that giving them a tool, helping them to empower themselves with life skills will help them in their life as well as in their 9th and 10th standard. That's the reason I took up the 8th standard students. I gave a pre-test data collection where all the 3 tools were given to them along with the socio-economic status tool as well as the psychological well-being. So there were in total 5 tools that I gave them during the pre-test. I took 2 SSC schools where one was the experimental and one was the controlled, where I gave this cognitive intervention program to one school, and then again I took post-test in both the schools and I did the data analysis. Now, my data analysis consisted of 2 parts. One was the quantitative data analysis where I used the ANOVA and COVA t-test. And the second half was the focus group semi-structured interviews. I also took a mixed method type little bit included in it, where I took interviews from students who scored the highest in the test. And I asked them, made a questionnaire, and I asked them to give a feedback about the session, the whole program, how did they feel. So it was a qualitative data interviews, then I analyzed the data, then the quantitative data was analyzed, and the students, the results that came up was the intervention program was, the effect size was moderate, with compared to the critical thinking, the effect size was moderate. With decision making, the effect size was small. And for problem solving, the effect size was moderate. So overall, there were some life skills, cognitive life skills that the student benefited and imbibed in them with these lessons. Now, preparing the lesson plans and materials. I took, as I said, that I took permission from the schools. I went personally, I took my team members, I introduced them. The schools were really very cooperative. Then I prepared the lesson plans. I prepared 21 lesson plans, which consist of 7 critical thinking, 7 problem solving, and 7 decision making lesson plans. And in this lesson plans, I took methodologies, different type of innovative lessons like Sudoku. I also used role play. I used many other types. I will show you the my lesson planning modules over here. How were the lessons? These were the modules that I prepared. The first module was Introduction to Life Skills. Then I made lesson plans like let's think imaginatively, agree, disagree. These are some of the this was the module that I prepared, and these were the activity that I conducted. So alphabet game, impromptu skits, group drawing.
Dr. Lubna,
Yes, sir.
sorry to disturb you, Dr. Lubna, but I think you intend to show a presentation which is not visible to the audience.
Oh.
You will have to share that particular presentation.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We are still on the journey begins.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, were you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you all are able to see, or earlier also you all will be able to see?
No, now we are able to see overview of the research slide.
Yes. So this was my whole overview of the research. As I discussed that it was a experimental design of quasi pre-test, post-test, quasi experimental design. So this is how I made my intervention program. This is how the overall, then suggestions for further study. All this was a part and parcel of my research. I also want to show you, did you all see the lesson plan? Were you all able to see the lesson plans? Sorry, the titles of the now. Can you all see the lessons?
Not yet, ma'am. Sometime it takes few seconds to display the screen.
Okay, I'll just show. Now?
Yes, it's fine, ma'am.
So, yes, so these were the lessons that I conducted, an intervention program. And these lessons, when I made these lessons, I gave it as a booklet to experts. I gave 10 I gave these 10 booklets to 10 experts who were in the field of teacher education. Among these were my colleagues, Dr. Rajiv Aija, Dr. Neelu Verma, Dr. Minakshi Lat. So these were some of my colleagues who really helped me for making my lesson plans. I used to make these lesson plans and I used to give it to my research team members, and they would go and conduct the lessons in the school. I will show you a video also where the lessons are conducted. Now, someone asked that, how do we identify the topic? Now, these are the novel research proposals where ICSSR has accepted. If you see the topics, digital way to financial inclusion, then they say that the topics that are accepted by these research fundings are people like the marginalized group people. Like if you do studies on women, you do studies for the physically handicapped, you do studies for rural areas. These are some of the topics which the ICSSR or any funding agencies accept it, So the main crux that you need to understand is that you need to identify the topic which the government is working. Also, when you can pick up topics like policies. When you take up policies, they really it is positive that you will get the fund. So marginalized section of the group, if you take up topics, now the recent study, I've been wanting to do study a research proposal on design thinking, critical pedagogy. All these are topics which are new topics which one needs. So preparing lesson plans. Now, preparing lesson plans was also not very easy because I had to cater to the marginalized section. When I say marginalized section, I meant that students who belong to the low socio-economic group, these students, parents were, some were drivers, some were tailors, some mothers worked in the slum as a maid. These kids, majority of them lived in the slum areas. So my focus was, I want to give something to these students which they could carry in their life. Then I gave the lesson plans to the experts. The experts gave me very fruitful feedback, and they were very happy with the lessons also, but they were worried because the level was a bit high. Will the SSC level students take up that lesson? And with the grace of God, I was able to get a good, I could outsource a good teacher who could execute the lesson in an effective manner. So these were some of the preparation that I had done. Now, feedback from the expert for the lesson, I incorporated, I made changes. We went to the schools at a stretch of 3 months. We were in the school every day, every morning. My team members would go there, report to me. They would take videos, they would send me videos. Because, see, when you're doing a research project, we are full-time teachers. It is very difficult for us to go on field. That's the reason that the funding agencies provide funds where we can hire people. But hiring people also is a big task. You need to get the right people to execute it. So I was lucky enough, since it was an individual project where I had to do everything. I had to manage my college, I had to manage my life, also my personal life. So it was like I really had to plan too much. Then we went in the school. The schools were very cooperative. The teachers were very cooperative. The students, the best part was the students looked forward for the lessons. They were waiting that when will the teacher come and she would take lessons, because they really enjoyed the lesson plans. They really enjoyed the type of activities. After every lesson plan, I gave them a worksheet, so I could know exactly what were they doing. Then feedback from the students, as I told you, and overall feedback was taken. A book was maintained where we wrote the feedback of all the students. And also I said that my study included a qualitative research where I also had a semi-structured group inter. Then we completed the lessons. Now the main task, the main important thing, what I have learned from my mentor is that once you have your data, the main data in your hand, you have won the battle. So I was worried about how will I collect the pre-test, what will happen, how will the lessons go, will it go in a successful manner or no, will it go in the way I have planned. So we completed 21 lessons in 3 months, which the duration was for 42 hours. The whole intervention program was for 42 hours. I would like to say that if you're doing an individual project, you will have to give your holidays during your summer vacation. I went to college during my summer vacation. My college was very cooperative, very supportive. They gave me the computer lab to do my data analysis, chapter writing. So my whole team was there in the college to do the data analysis and chapter writing. Now, I also discovered new and novel skills. I forgot to mention that when I received the award letter or a mail from ICSSR, we have to send a letter of acceptance. You have to write to them that you have accepted the letter along with an agreement of 100 rupees stamp paper. So you have to follow up with the ICSSR with all the other communication part. So imagine the project director has to plan, the project director has to organize, lead, control, and get a result, get an outcome of the project. So managing fund and maintaining accounts. I am really not very good with my finance. I can invest, I can save, but to maintain a record was a real task. For this purpose, my colleague, Dr. Priya Pillai, helped me a lot to maintain these funds and accounts. She really helped me by telling me how to go about, how should I manage, what should I do, I will show you few samples of the records that I had maintained. Now, creating documents for different heads. As I showed you in the earlier slide, there are different heads under which we have to maintain records. So I maintained the records under various heads, that is books, the library where you have to get the accession number, you have to buy books related to life skills, then you had to give certain amount that you had to spend on the books, then the printer, the cartridges, the papers, everything, keeping the record of the salary. Now, I also want to tell you all, this is one tip which which I did not follow, which I felt it's easy, but you have to show your bank account, your passbook, where all the details are there about the amount that you have used. As I'm sure everyone must be knowing that more than 5,000 and above, if you issue a particular amount, you will have to get a stamp and you have to take the signature of the people. So my people who are involved had salary of 16,000 and 12,000. So I had to literally, during my auditing, I had to show all these things in detail. And I was really new to it. I didn't know. I really had a hard time maintaining the records. Then maintaining the passbook and records, you have to see to it that when you give the salary to them, that it is shown in your passbook, because it is all white money that you have got, and you get the check from the ICSSR, which you have to give it to the institution. The institution will give you whenever you need the money or salary, or whatever amount is required, the institution will give you. So this is the way how you are going to maintain your funds. Maintaining and preserving letters from the funding agency. Now, initially, as I told you, I had to write an acceptance letter to them. I had to send a notary, 100 rupees notary agreement letter. Later on, I got the first installment, for which I had to write a letter to them, second installment letter, third installment letter. So all these communication was done by me. And the ICSSR gives all the format. Let me tell you, the ICSSR agency is really, really very systematic. I really had no issues at all. Timely, I would get the installment, timely, I would send everything. And they were very, very clear about everything. Whenever they would send a letter, with that, there would be a letter attached as to what am I supposed to do. So the ICSSR, I felt that it was really very systematic, and they followed the protocol, whatever they had to do. Then following the format of communication, every letter had a format that they gave us, and which we had to do it with the help of the uh, uh, financial department of the college, sending letter of acceptance. Then also every 6 months I had to send a report to them, how and what progress I have made. Then sending letters of installment, auditing of the fund. This was the major part where I had lot of challenges I had to face, because as I told you, that this was for the first time that I received a grant of 7 lakhs, which I really didn't know how am I going to go about, what am I going to do. But with time, with support of my colleagues, with support of other members of my family, I was able to reach to the outcome. Now, we feel that we'll be able to do a particular research project, but I believe without the support of the family, the pillar of strength, you cannot do any work in your life. I feel family plays a very important role. My family stood by me, and they never complained that you did not give me time. Whenever I said I have my project work, they would leave me alone. So my family was a big, big support to me with regard to my emotional, physical, you would say social, all aspect was taken care by my family. I'm blessed to have a strong, understanding, cooperative family where each and every member, even my daughter, contributed to the research that I have done. Then the head of the institution, when I sent this proposal, it was late Dr. Mintu Sinha, who was the head of the institution, and she really supported me. She asked me, when I asked her to sign the proposal, she said that you're taking up, but it's a huge task. I also assured her that, ma'am, I will not neglect my college work. You will see to it that I will see to it that whatever work I have to do, I will do after college hours. But still, she gave me lot of flexibility for my project to be done. So the head of the institution also need to be cooperative, where again I was very lucky. My colleagues and friends, here again my colleagues, Dr. Neelu Verma, who really supported me for formatting, making me understand few things which I had lost track. The formatting part of the research, she explained me. Then the bibliography, how to go about with the recent type, because I had done my PhD in 2008. She had just recently submitted her PhD. So with regard to that, she explained me in detail. So you really cannot say, I cannot say that I did this project individually. It was it was a teamwork. The Each and every member in my life, people in my life have supported me. And the most important, my team members never told me that this is not my work and I'm not going to do. So I was blessed to have a good team members. Later on, one of the part of ICSSR is that you need to publish papers before you submit your project. At least minimum three papers to be published in the reputed journal. So I published 5 papers. I attended 2 conferences, and I published these papers all under UGC accepted journals. Writing papers was also not so easy. I picked up topics from my research, the project, and I wrote 5 papers. Identifying reputed journal was also a big task, where my librarian, Dr. Priya Pillai, helped me for that. I went to Dubai for an international conference, where this particular conference which I attended was again a part of the ICSSR funding. I did not spend anything from my pocket, but I attended, I presented, and I acknowledged the ICSSR for supporting me in this particular endeavor. Now, the challenges and solutions. As I told you, that there were a lot of challenges, and it was a big, huge task that I had to complete in 18 months, where I thought I would be given 24 months, but no, I was given only 18 months according to them. And balancing work and personal life, like, it was not very easy for me to balance work and personal life, because I'm a person where I work with lot of perfection and I want everything to be done in advance. Like, if I had to submit my project in the month of November, I felt my project should be ready uh, by October or by September. So that was, so I was juggling with my work. It was not that I neglected my work. I took all my lectures. My colleagues supported me whenever I requested them to give me lectures earlier. They gave me first lectures, and where little time was left, I would sit. During my vacations, I came to college. I did my data analysis. Then I tried to use the time, whatever I had, to the best of my ability. It was not that I left my social life. I did enjoy my life as well as I did my uh, project. And let me tell you, it was indeed a very, very enriching experience for me, because I had already done an experimental research in 2008. My PhD was multicultural education, which was an experimental research. But this again gave me new outlook to the whole project, though I had done earlier, but I felt this was something which I learned so many new things, like online calculations, how to do many other things, how to manage your documents. Then meeting the criteria of the project was also another, that I had to write papers, I had to meet up, communicate with the ICSSR in certain time. Then I had to sit for at least 1 month to do the auditing process, because I was new to it. So a year you have to do the auditing process from the college auditor only. You cannot go out and do the auditing process. The college auditor will help you to, he will check all your calculations, he will check the bifurcations given by the ICSSR, how much percentage I have spent on what different heads, and accordingly he will give me a certified statement stating that this much amount has been used by the researcher and it is correct, and the auditor signs that. So it was really a huge task for me because money was involved. Money was not my own. I had to give justification to it. Little here and there for minor things also, I had to jot down money, 10 rupees, 15 rupees. For all those things, I had to jot down each and every detail. Then another challenge, that was coordination with though the members, the principal, the school coordinator, colleagues, all were very supportive. But in spite of that, I really had a lot of challenges where I had to uh, uh, organize, plan everything in order to make them understand why I'm doing so. So it was not that. I believe that in life, if you have challenges, if you have problems, there are always a solution to the problems. It is not that problems are there and there are no solutions. I believe that every problem has a solution. So whatever challenges would come to me, I would take it in a learning lesson. I would say that it is a learning lesson for me, and I'm definitely going to learn from it. Now, this was the last part where I had to submit the final project. Now, what are the important aspects that one needs to keep in mind? First and foremost, the proofreading of your final project. You read it, it's a different angle and a different lens, but you need to give it to someone to read that proofreading. So my team members did the proofreading for me. I also gave my colleagues to do the proofreading, where Dr. Jha also did the proofreading for my project. Plagiarism check, I hired someone outside, outsourced it. Each and every page of my project was plagiarism checked, where I found that it is said that only 10% of the plagiarism this is accepted. Beyond 10%, it is not accepted. So I had to check my chapters which did not go to 11% or 12%. So I had to keep that check, which I again got a good person, my friend, who did this for me. Printing and formatting, again, I had to go to the printer, explain him. But at Kulaba, we have shops where they already know how to go about with the printing and all. So I did not have much problem. But yes, I was there at the shop till 10:30 in the night for my printing and formatting, binding with proper format. Um, all these things are part and parcel of a project. Submission of the project. Now the ICSSR wants the project in a hard copy as well as soft copy. So you have to give a pen drive to them where you have all your data, your Excel sheet, your tools, your chapters, everything to be kept in the soft copy, and a hard copy like a thesis you have to submit. Now, these are some of the samples that I would like to show you all. This is how I documented. Now, this is the field work which whenever you make a document, you need to write the file number. Please remember, they will not accept your name. They will not accept you in any way other than the file number that you have got in your award letter. So this is the file number that I had to write and the month from which I am maintaining the account. So I had maintained this fieldwork, various heads, that the library books, travel, photocopy, internet charges. These are some of the headers which I used for sampling. The other was contingency. The other head was contingency, where cartridges, courier, stationery, all these again was a part of this is how I maintained my documents. This is how I gave the salary to my team members, and I took the signature from them. I Xeroxed the check, whichever I gave them, and I maintained it again. Then this is how I made the travel statement. Like if I use taxi, how did I, which date, which school, from the taxi number, from where to where, what was the amount, all those things, a detailed thing was required. This is how I maintained my um, library bills, where I wrote the name of the book, the author, the price, the bill date number, and the accession number and the total amount. So like this, in every 6 months, I had to maintain all the documents. Now, this is what I wanted to show. I did my calculations with the help of Start. This is the site. Can you all see it? No, I'll show you all. 1 minute. This is the site of ICSSR where all the procedure is given. Can you all see it,
Yes, yes.
participants? Yeah. See, if you go on this site, ICSSR, research projects, major and minor, all the details are given over here, my dear friends. See, they have given the areas under which you can take up. So I had taken up in education as the area. The categories were given, minor and major. Which one do you want to take up? 2 types. And the duration and the amount is given. The eligibility criteria, how to apply, procedure for award, duration and value, the budgeting, how you can do, remuneration to be given, as I told you, research associate, research assistant, field investigator. All these things are given in detail. You just have to read and you have to understand and you have to follow this. You just follow this and your journey of this research will be systematic. Monitoring of research project conditions, then the transfer in case if you do not want, you want someone else to be the joint director, completion of the project, obligation, then as I told you, the research proposal format. All these things are in detail given on this site. I request the teachers, the teacher educators to please take the benefit of this, and we learn so much, so much. I can't tell you how much I have learned in this journey. Then I would also like to show you the online calculations on which I have done my calculations. I did my calculations, all my calculations I have done on Vasar Start. This is the site which you can use for your writing general papers also. If you see, the correlation is there, t-test is there, NOI is there, NCOA is there. So the calculations have become so easy in current time with help of technology and computer that I had to know what data I have to add where. I did my calculations through this. This is the video that I want to show y'all where my team member stop share. Can you all see now? Can you all see it?
Ma'am, we are able to see the slides.
Yeah.
Lesson in school. Yes.
Yeah.
So if the chit that you picked up contains the number 1, you have to write one word related to that word that I will be giving you on the board. For example, if I say the word water, I'm giving you an example. If I say water and I pick up a chit, okay, I'm picking up a chit and I've opened this up, the number comes as 3. Okay, so I have to write 3 words related to the term water. So there are 2 columns. The first column is list of words. List of words will be the words given by us, and related words will be the number of words written by you. Did you understand? So when I think about the word water, the first thing that comes to my mind is I can write the word life, I can write river, I can write sea, I can write whatever that comes to my mind when I hear the word water. Did you understand? Okay, if I hear the word sun, okay, energy, light, heat, day, sunrise, sunset, something related to sun. Did you understand? Yes, sir. Have you understood the rules of the game? Yes, sir. Maybe begin. Okay.
I would like to end my session by saying every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. So I request all my colleagues, my community, my fraternity of education, of other interdisciplinary, disciplinary disciplines or streams to take up and try it out such type of such type of research project, because it really, really makes you confident. It really makes your research skills. It enhances your research skills, and it makes you, I think it gives you a lot of exposure. That is what I can say. Thank you. I end my session over here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. As I think I could not see much questions from the chat box, but dear participants, if you have any questions, any queries that you want Dr. Lubna to clarify them, kindly raise your hands or so that we can unmute you. Any queries from the participants' ends? Or you may write your questions in the chat box also. That will also serve the purpose.
Ma'am, during the session, chat was disabled. So now chat is enabled.
Okay, right.
So participant can write any question in the chat box. Meanwhile, Dr. Raman, please check any question on YouTube comments. There are lots of comments for appreciating ma'am, but kindly see if any question in the YouTube comments also.
Yes, Dr. Parkat, we are seeing, but probably I think there was no much query. Yes, regarding the presentation, regarding the explanation, Dr. Lubna, you've got, I think, more than 100 out of 100. So I cannot talk about the numerator. Denominator is 100 and it's far more than 100 in the numerator. It was really...
Dr. Manu, Dr. Pradeep Burman has put up his hand.
Okay, I will just unmute him.
Dr. Pradeep, you can unmute yourself because participants now are given the permission to unmute themselves.
Yes, Dr. Pradeep, please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, ma'am. I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
Lubana, ma'am. Ma'am, is there any time period for applying for project in ICSI?
Yes. It's mostly in the month of November and December that they accept the projects. So you have to check the sites for the deadline. So I submitted my project in the month of October.
It's extremely graceful.
Yeah. November and December, ma'am?
No, October and November. Every year they have a deadline on the site, sir. You will have to check which is the deadline. But usually they accept the projects in the month of October and November, not December.
Dr. Burman, I'll just add to it that last year, the day, last date was June 2020. Last year, it was June 2020, the last date of submission.
Yes.
So this year...
Ma'am, in a year, they have twice that they accept, I feel. In June also and in the month of October also.
Right, ma'am, because it was June 2020 was...
Yes. I also want to say, I forgot about this. I want to mention that now the installments would be online. They will not send checks.
Right.
So the installment, whatever money you're going to get will be through the online transactions that is going to happen, where the ICSSR have their own link, which the college has to connect to the link. And also new thing is that the colleges will have to give space to their websites where the research projects can be uploaded. So the new trend, that is the new criteria that one has to meet the institution, is that they will have to upload their research projects on the college website. So anyone can see that. And also, I will be coming up with this particular book very soon of my project on life skills education program. So I'll request everyone to do read about it. If I'm not able to give you a detailed explanation about it right now. I did not go much into the proposals, my dear friends, because I thought proposal is something which every individual has their own style of doing it. But the headers, as I showed you, is the same. So I did not go much into my topic, whereas I felt that I was very lost with what was the procedure if I had got a fund from a particular agency. I wanted someone to guide me, tell me what is the next procedure that I'm supposed to do. How am I going to do? How am I going to maintain the records? So it was really, really very difficult for me to understand. But now I felt, since I'm on this platform, I will help my friends, my colleagues, my community members to encourage them to take up these type of research, sponsored research projects. It's very easy. As I told you, identify topics where the most vulnerable sections of the society are there, and also pick up topics, as I said, women, policy, all these things will fetch you, help you to give funds easily. They give funds easily where policies are involved, women are involved, rural areas, online education, also on the schemes where the government has talked about and no one has worked, and you can bring about awareness about various schemes. You can talk about girl education, sex education. All these topics are something which the funding agency look forward to.
Ma'am, there's another question. In fact, there are two questions which I think you'll be probably able to answer in one go only.
Yes,
one
ma'am.
question is, could school teachers apply for these projects? And then there's another one who's asking that, is there any type of project for fashion designing? She
No,
wants you to-
I don't think so. As I showed you this fashion designing, I doubt there is any area. But yes, school teachers, if you have done your PhD, you can apply. But for minor, you can apply. I'm sure about that. Major, there is certain criteria that is given. But for minor, definitely you can apply.
Probably
Ma'am, good
there's
afternoon, ma'am.
question by Dr. Gangu Naidu. Dr. Gangu Naidu, I've unmuted you. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Dr. Gangu Naidu. I have small doubt, ma'am. From the same organization, then how many members can get the funds, ma'am? Because already my seniors, 4 members, they got. Okay, still they are receiving funds. So how many members they may allow from the same organization?
There is no fix. They all focus on the topic, sir. There can be 3 people also getting the same funding the funds from the same institution. So there are no fixed this, but yes, at least 3 can get easily from the funding agency. Minimum
Okay,
3 can get from the same agencies.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Any other? I don't think so. There is any other question. So,
Ma'am, can I ask one question?
Yes, sure, sir.
Dr. Lubna, one very common question in the mind of many of the budding researchers will be how to select an area or how to select a topic for research proposal. What type of topics are accepted by the USC, ICSSR or the other funding agencies? Can you guide all of us how to identify a particular area and then a particular topic for applying for a minor or a major research project or any project to ICSSR or any other funding agency, please?
Yes, sure, sir. So I actually also wanted to do, as I said, that the government looks for policies more on a policy front. Like now, if you will take up a research on NEP of 2020, you will definitely you will easily get the fund for it, sir. And there are, when I said that the marginalized section of the society, when I say marginalized section of the society, I talk about the rural people who are not able to get the facilities, or they are not aware about such type of, if I would have, I can also could have taken a research project in the rural area rather than the SSC school students. But my rationale that I gave is that the schools, that the SSC level, the population who comes to this particular SSC level are the students who are from low socio-economic background. So this was one of my, I think, which the agency clicked with my topic was the word marginalized. So I used the word marginalized. Yes, someone has written environmental impact by industries. Yes, these are environmental topics also can be taken up where you can do a minor or a major research. Women empowerment is one where you can do minor and major research. Where I said girl education, the government has come up with the policy, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. These are some of the areas where you can identify and you can do. Then the Paulo Freire's critical pedagogy that has been talked about, because it dealt with the oppressed section of the society. So I feel, with my experience, what I feel is that the areas that you take up which are not take, as we know that we take up researches which no one has taken up or very few studies in. Now, sir, there is one area on design thinking. Design thinking topic, if you do a review related literature, none of the Indian scholars have done on this. But if you see, there are so many research abroad. Critical pedagogy is one of the topic that one can take up, where again, no one has taken up such type of critical pedagogy. I wrote one paper on critical pedagogy of language. So policy area is one, then girl education is one, women empowerment is one, rural areas is one, handicap inclusive education is one, which we can take up. Interdisciplinary areas are something where you can merge two disciplines and take up. So these are some of the areas which you can take up the topic. Life skills, if you see, a topic is very common, but then I identified the topic of life skills with regard to not emotional social, because the review related literature gave me a background that many studies have been done. But when I took up this topic where critical pedagogy, all were taken as single individual variables. But I wanted to see whether how we can develop, because the 21st century education focuses on all these three important areas. So again, we need to identify the prime areas in which the funding agencies are interested. And I'm sure that they are interested more from a government perspective. I hope I've answered your question, sir.
Thank you very much. So nicely. Thank you. Manu ma'am, please go ahead. We also welcome Professor R.G. Kothari ji. Sir has just joined us. Welcome, sir, from G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education, Gurusar Sadhar, Professor R.G. Kothari ji.
Good afternoon, sir, and a very warm welcome to Professor R.G. Kothari. Pargat sir, may I start with the further proceedings now?
Yes, please go ahead, please.
So probably I don't think so there is much any other question. Ma'am, there was one question by somebody who just asked that besides minor and major research projects, do we have any other category of projects also? Besides major and minor?
As far as I know, there are only minor and major research projects that has come up, but ICSSR has come up with different schemes. They have come up with Impress as one of the scheme that you can explore.
Right.
So ICSSR comes up with lot of different schemes. Now, minor major research is one area. Impress is another area. They have also come out with a third area. So ICSSR comes up with different schemes for research projects. It is not only minor and major. Now, Impress has come up last year. We also filled up for the Impress research project as a teamwork. We three members together in the college, and we applied to Impress for research projects. So there are many international agencies also who give up, but the criterias are different. One needs to study in detail the criteria as to who can apply, what is the procedure. So in collaboration, I think if we go about with two team members for an international collaboration, that works out better. So that is what I can tell you. Before I end, I would like to thank my mentor, Dr. Shefali Pandya, because of, I would say, her mentoring, her encouragement, her motivation. Looking at her, I get inspired every time whenever I see her, whenever I talk to her. The level that I have reached today, I think I owe my success to her. And this major research was also guided, and she mentored me in each and every step. So I'm really very thankful to Dr. Shefali Pandya, who is my mentor, who's been my teacher, and I learn a lot from her. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Lubna Mansoori, for your deliberation on the much imperative sub-theme. This is actually required and sharing experiential learning. Madam, we highly appreciate your wonderful style of presenting ideas through your wow presentation. It was really a good presentation, very comprehensive, exhaustive elucidations, and your ideas in preparing, submitting, presenting proposals, followed by executing the research project. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sita. Thank you. Dear participants, friends, and resource persons, we are very thankful to all of you for your wholehearted participation and interaction during these 7 days of faculty development program. It was your enthusiasm that made this boat sail the shore. Bringing this FDP to a close, we now head towards the valedictory session. Today's valedictory session is being chaired by Professor R.G. Kothari, President, CTEF Gujarat Chapter. Professor R.G. Kothari is a renowned personality in the field of education, a fabulous researcher, and an inspiring guide.
Manu ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, Pargat sir, I'm just actually, I was sharing sir's PPT.
Okay, fine, sure.
So, sir is, as quoted earlier, sir is a wonderful researcher, an inspiring guide, and from his CV, we can see that he's an evaluator of many theses and dissertations at doctorate as well as master's level. Sir has guided research projects funded by Gujarat State as well as other places, and has given his expertise in various projects and book publications. Sir actually comes to the rescue of our theme of faculty development program and has completed almost 27 research projects. He has published more than 250 theoretical and conceptual research papers, and is on the editorial board or the advisory board of almost around 30 journals. Sir is a member of almost 25 academic and administrative organizations. He has also served as a vice chancellor at Veer Narmad South Gujarat University, Surat, from 2005 to 2008, where he has to his credit the introduction of almost 19 postgraduate courses. Sir has been conferred with almost around 10, nearly 10 awards, the latest being the Award of Excellence for Exceptional Performance and Innovative Contribution by Gujarati Kshatriya World Federation 2015, the Open Page Inspired Learning Teachers Educators Award 2014-15, which was conferred to him by the Governor of Gujarat, Shri Om Prakash Kohli, in 2015. Sir, G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education, Gurusar Sadhar, in collaboration with CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh chapter, Bombay Teachers Training College, a constituent college of HSNC University, and the Best Health Solutions, Johannesburg, South Africa, has been conducting a faculty development program on the theme Resource Mobilization Local to Global, in which nearly 500 participants from almost all the states of the country and even overseas are attending. The main aim of the FDP was to discuss the emerging challenges in the field of education and the call for ways and means on aid allocation. So now, not taking much time, I would now request Dr. Mandeep Kaur, coordinator of the Collaborating Institute BTTC Mumbai, to present the highlights of these 7 days so as to acquaint you with the aims and the purposes and what actually was done during these 7 days. So over to Dr. Mandeep now. Dr. Mandeep ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Manu. Thank you for this opportunity of presenting the proceedings and 7 days highlights to this FDP. G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education, Gurusar Sadhar, Ludhiana has organized 7 days online international faculty development program on resource mobilization local to global from Monday 8th February to Sunday 14th February today. Under the UGC Pramarsh scheme for our 5 mentee colleges under mentor-mentee scheme of UGC, this FDP was a collaborative effort of G.H.G. Gurusar Sadhar and Bombay Teachers Training College, Mumbai, with Council for Teacher Education Foundation and the Best Health Solutions, Johannesburg, South Africa. We feel great pride in presenting you that along with our mentee colleges, faculty, more than 500 participants from all over India and overseas have registered for it, and almost all have attended the sessions on Zoom and YouTube. Through this FDP, we focused to empower our participants to explore various areas of interdisciplinary quality research collaboration and avenues of funding for research projects. Day 1 of 7 days FDP started with the inaugural address of Dr. Khushvinder Kumar, Principal Modi College and President CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh chapter. Dr. Khushvinder Kumar in his inaugural address reviewed the challenges being faced by the higher education institutions, citing special reference to research, which definitely is the need of the hour. In fact, research is imperative, merely for qualitative survival. Post-pandemic, tremendous changes are being witnessed, and as such, there is a need to refocus and rethink about research. Dr. Khushvinder deliberated that NEP 2020 has talked for NRF. However, modalities about research funding needs to be clarified as submissions of proposals shall be more competitive in order to make it more qualitative and decisive. He highlighted the journey of Council for Teacher Education, the challenges association has gone through and its current status. We personally wish CTEF can extend its wings to Maharashtra chapter. Dr. Khushvinder Kumar concluded with the suggestions that education sector needs to collaborate with the corporate sector and develop virtuous linkages. The first technical session, Dr. David Mankandla, Milpark Business School, South Africa, deliberated on the themes unpacking resource mobilization and art of proposal writing. Mr. David started his deliberation by defining resource mobilization as the process that seeks to achieve the mission of the organization by harnessing all relevant enablers and resources internally and externally. He elaborated good resource mobilization strategies, scaling up the services of any institution and their improvement through stakeholders by continuing monitoring. Dr. David explained the key resources in resource mobilization as human resource, material resource, finance, and knowledge. And to implement the vision of the organization, not only fundraising, but other robust, appropriate strategies are required. Another very important aspect discussed was sustainability. That is, the ability of an organization to develop resilience in its organizational structure and to secure and manage sufficient resources to fulfill its mission effectively and consistently over time without excessive dependence on any single funding resource. Mr. David concluded his deliberation by putting forth facts of success to resource mobilization, that is, develop new partnerships and relationships, nurture and maintain relationships, and reassert the value of funders, sponsors, donors by various strategies of involvement. On the second day, Dr. Domizo Shuma, public health specialist from the Best Health Solutions, Johannesburg, South Africa, deliberated on the following themes, responding to the calls for proposals and local and international funding resources. Human resources, local and international collaborations. Dr. Domizo deliberated on various aspects which one should keep in mind for a general proposal and also calculate the budget involved. Sticking to the deadlines is very important while writing a grant proposal, which really affects the acceptance or rejection of the proposal. The timeline should be checked and steps should be specified accordingly. Development of MOU is also important to avoid any conflict which may arise between the institutions or people collaborating for the project. He then deliberated on how to unpack the technical approach to be adopted while undertaking the project. He highlighted significance of project, innovation, linking theory and practice, technical approach, conceptual frame, research design, project team investigators, budget, implementation plan. In the end, Dr. Domizo concluded bringing the all concerned together, that is problem, theory, practice, innovation, technical approach, project team, budget and project plan in a set relationship can ensure the success of any project. The Day 3 Faculty Development Program was graced by the presence of Dr. Ravneet Chawla, Associate Professor, Government College of Education, Punjab University, Chandigarh. The topic of her presentation was sharing experiences about research grant. Dr. Ravneet Chawla in her deliberation shared her international and national travel experiences for conducting her research work. At the outset, she pondered upon the various challenges the researcher could face while planning for research in foreign shores. Few of the challenges enumerated by her include food, money for boarding and lodging, and the most that can be language. The further she explained, the documentation must be done in a crisp way with non-repetitive and non-ornamental language. Dr. Ravneet threw light on her travel research experiences, conveyed that self-discipline and group discipline builds wonders for carrying out research work. Dr. Ravneet emphasized that we need to make modifications in our present curriculum in order to make our students more research oriented. They must be provided with maximum opportunities through curriculum so that they could express themselves in a better way. Dr. Ravneet Chawla's deliberation was also accompanied by the live interactions with her research students. They shared their valuable experiences and motivated the participants while their interaction, or they shared their experiences while their research with Dr. Ravneet Chawla. The national and international travel experiences shared by Dr. Ravneet Chawla were truly fascinating, and she was absolutely truthful and honest in her communications with the participants. She also suggested that self-belief is the self-belief of the researcher is the key factor, and the final word was, do not underestimate your inner potential, and if I could do that, You all also can do it. Day 4 was graced by Dr. Sonal Singh, Associate Professor and Head School of Studies in Library and Information Science, Vikram University, Ujjain, MP. The topic of her presentation was Library as a Learning Resource Center. Dr. Sonal started her presentation by highlighting the importance of library as an important learning resource center. She quoted the library as a supplemental educational tool for the academic community. It serves as a bridge between the user and his information. LRC is a means of universal education. These are the libraries without walls, ready to serve from local to global. Dr. Sonal further discussed briefly various types of library collections consisting of books, periodicals, electronic resources, e-resources, remote accessed facilities to register users, open access resource via web. Dr. Sonal talked about Google Scholar, Microsoft Academic, Base, Core, Science, Government Semantic Scholars, and many others. UGC sponsored Infonet International Level Consortium and UGC PG MOOCs as well. Dr. Sonal not only discussed the various research engines, but also gave a live demonstration to search these engines, any kind of learning material using these thesis platforms, including books, journals, articles, theses, etc. She motivated the participants to make an efficient use of LRCs for their professional development and for their knowledge enhancement. In the end, she concluded her presentation with saying that LRC is a lifelong companion from cradle to grave. Learning is a lifelong activity and we should never stop learning. It was indeed a very insightful session. Day 5 of 7 days long faculty development program was graced by Dr. Rajiv Jha, Associate Professor, Bombay Teachers Training College, Mumbai, and Dr. Priya Pillai, Librarian, BTTC, Mumbai. Topic of their presentation was sharing experiences about research grant and topic of deliberation, academic writing respectively. Dr. Jha started his deliberation by providing an overview and background of academic writing. He highlighted that academic writing is a journey, not a destination. He is an optimistic, in his optimistic note said that the future of research culture is bright, as nowadays research is taken up as at the school level as well. He further elaborated that the academic writing is an action-oriented process. One has to tell what he or she thinks about a particular topic, area, problem, rather than what is already known. While discussing the various paradoxes of academic writing, Dr. Jha stressed that we must write in an original way, and moreover, it should not be simple writing activity. One must also analyze the opinions that he or she has used in his or her writing in his own way and must also add them in. One must give his her own significant contribution to his her academic writing. Later, Dr. Rajiv Jha discussed the various types of academic writing, that is descriptive, analytical, persuasive, and critical. He also threw light on the various characteristics of academic writing. To cite a few: clarity, ambiguity, completeness, cohesiveness, critical thinking, formal style, etc. Dr. Jha discussed the creative phase of academic writing named advancing or stepping forward. He also shared few things that the scholars must avoid in their academic writing: idioms, acronyms, contradictions, vague and casual words should be avoided. Dr. Rajiv ended his presentation by quoting Ray Bradbury, You fail only if you stop writing. Dr. Priya Pillai commenced her deliberation on pursuing academic research funding by sharing the statistics related to the institutions leading in social science research and the established centers of research. She elaborated the various schemes run by University Grants Commission, including postdoctoral fellowship grant, which is given to students during their degree in doctorate, as well as students pursuing some postgraduate research work. Another scheme shared by her is university with potential for excellence in a particular area. This scheme was introduced by UGC during the 9th year plan in order to promote quality and excellence in the field of education and for encouraging interdisciplinary approach in teaching and research areas. Dr. Priya also discussed the various research awards that are given by UGC. Dr. Priya shared some sites for research funding, including Jawaharlal Nehru University, Azim Premji University, Delhi University, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching for Education. Some elaboration on autonomous research institutions was also given by her, which include Indian Council, Indira Gandhi Institute of Development Research, Mumbai. Various research schemes under SPARC, IMPRESS, and STRIDE were elaborated, discussed by Dr. Priya Pillai. The objective and eligibility criteria to obtain grants under these schemes were also discussed by her in detail. Some overseas research grants given by various prestigious international institutions were also shared by Dr. Priya, including the Spencer Foundation grant given to promote the field of education and Sandy Foundation, etc. Dr. Priya gave her inputs to apply for particular grant and emphasized one needs to have a competitive spirit for seeking grants for their research in work. The day 6 was graced by Dr. Ramesh Sharma, Associate Professor, Instructional Design at Ambedkar University, Delhi, India. Topic of his presentation was online platforms for showcasing and sharing your research. He beautifully explained about ORCID and demonstrated from his own ID and motivated participants to have their own ID. He talked about 16-digit ORCID identifier. He talked about API, a set of application programming interfaces. He said that like GHG Khalsa College Education has its own website, all the assistant professors have their own IDs connected with it. It becomes more good to have the record and have the integrations. He elaborated DOI, Digital Object Identifier, is more preferable other than URL. Dr. Sharma elaborated agencies and websites which gives you DOI. Those who are publishing a journal and want to have DOI, then there are certain platforms which gives you the access. At last, he suggested some points regarding ORCID. There is a difference in a challenge in Google Scholar that it can identify wrongly because different persons with the same names can be there. So you should be very regular in checking your websites. His inputs and his experience sharing was very fruitful for the participants. The day 7, Dr. Bhagwan Balani, today morning, Principal, Bombay Teachers Training College, shared and presented extensively his experiential learning about the project under the able guidance of late, the then principal of BTTC, Dr. Mintu Sinha. Co-scholastic assessments, a toolkit for developing multiple intelligences among secondary school students. The project that involved and engaged all the faculty members It was extremely graceful on the part of Dr. Bhagwan Balani to remember and give the due credit to Dr. Mintu Sinha in this FDP, and with the silence of 1 minute, we introspected and motivated ourselves for the research project. Dr. Mintu Sinha, who has elevated the status and standards of Bombay Teachers Training College to reach it, to make it reach to the level of university. The second session was taken over by Dr. Lubna Mansoori, Associate Professor, BTTC, who shared her experiences right from the beginning of writing a proposal to ICSSR, taking the project forward, documentation of the project, following the deadlines, using the funds judiciously, keeping the regular job in your college side by side, enjoying of your colleagues and sharing your experiences with them, enjoying the social life as well, presenting the papers nationally and internationally, facing the challenges, coming out of it, and proceeding successfully to the submission of your final report. These sessions were cautiously added into this FDP for sharing learning experiences from idea to execution. And she passionately motivated the participants to apply for funded researches. The suggestions of the and some recommendations from this FDP, which I would like to present before you. First of all, we are thankful to the collaborating institutions. We are thankful for this online education. We, the researchers, need to introspect. Nowadays, 2020 turned out to be a year of blessing for us. There were many things where we could not reach. And if we pay attention, schools, colleges, and universities were locked the first and are opening the last. What does that mean? On government's priority, teachers need to stay locked down because schools and students can be a resource of spreading the disease. But we need to accept teachers, students, schools, and institutions spread education. Teachers could be locked, but education during this online mode got unlocked. There was a survey which was put up before the participants during this FDP cautiously on the second day of the FDP, where many questions were put up. Now, this was one of the strategy to check the attendance of the FDP also. It's my prerogative to disclose the strategy on today's day. On third day, this survey was implemented, that how many people actually are attending and are conscious for this survey. So 183 people have responded to that survey collection, which was open only for few hours during the FDP, some hours before that, and some hours after the FDP was running functionally on that particular day. It's my privilege to present the results before our chief guest for the day, Professor Dr. R.G. Kothari, that survey measured 67% of people answered that they will definitely complete this FDP till 7 days, whereas only 26% people replied they will definitely complete the FDP, but they are surely going to apply for funded researches. So out of 183 people, 26% people are motivated to apply for the researches. I would want to know from Dr. Kothari whether this is a good number of researchers who are motivated out of this FDP, or we still need to work a lot, and researchers need to introspect intrinsically for their research. Before I hand over this proceeding to this session to the moderators and to Dr. Manu Chadda, and before I invite Dr. Kothari on this platform, we have some of the presenters, some of the participants who had been sending the messages that they would like to give the feedback on this FDP. Before I invite them, sir, with your permission, can we have those participants who wish to give the feedback on this portal?
How much time you will take?
Sir, 2 to 3 participants had been wanting to speak out. Just for 1 minute, if you allow us.
Okay, 5 more minutes, no problem.
Thank you, sir. I will request Dr. Pradeep Burman, Rangpada College from Assam, if he is ready and if he wants to share his experiential learning on this platform, please unmute yourself, Dr. Pradeep Burman, and you can share your impressions on this FDP. I request the host to unmute Dr. Pradeep Burman. Okay, can we have Dr. Ahmed Hussain from Raiganj University, West Bengal?
Dr. Ahmed, you can unmute yourself. Yes.
Dr. Ahmed Hussain, yes.
May I?
Yes, please.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. It's my privilege to have been asked to share my impression about this FDP. I must say, sir, this is one of the best FDP I have ever attended, both in terms of the quantity and the quality. And the extraordinary thing that I must mention about this FDP is the brilliant selection of both the topic and the resource person. Amazing, fantabulous. It has given us so many new dimensions of the researches. And the lectures on the topics, we hardly got the opportunity to listen. And in addition to this, I also found organizations very cooperative. So big thanks to them as well. And finally, I can say today that after completing this FDP, now we are on the track of action taker and not the excuse maker, as said by the Lubna madam. So I congratulate the organizing team for organizing such a fantabulous FDP. And I hope in upcoming days, we will also have similar type of FDPs from your side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed Hussain from West Bengal. Do we have Dr. Pradeep Burman?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm here.
Only 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, please.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Hello, I am Dr. Pradeep Burman, Department of History, Rangapara College, Assam. I am going to share a few words as a participant of this FDP. Respected Dr. R.G. Kothari, sir, the chairperson of the valedictory session of 7 days faculty development program on resource mobilizing local to global from 8 February to 14 February organized by G.H.G. Khalsa College of Education. Respected convener Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha sir, respected coordinators Dr. Manu Chadda ma'am and Dr. Mundip Kochar ma'am and other dignitaries present here virtually, and my dear colleagues, very good afternoon to you all. This 7 days FDP was a very resourceful and informative program for me. The lectures of Mr. David Mukanla and Dr. Jumizo Shuma helped me to understand various pros and cons of research proposal from the global perspective at the initial stage. The succeeding lectures also delivered uh, by the well-known resource person helped me to understand the rubrics of academic writings and research proposals and also various techniques of teaching research. I have also come to know about various funding agencies and role of library in research works from this program. For all these, I offer my sincere thanks and gratitude to whole team of FDP for giving me such a platform to be at a platform of the galaxy of resource persons to be creative in research and learning in future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pradeep. We will have the last word from Dr. Domizo Shuma, who is from Best Health Solutions from Johannesburg, South Africa. Dr. Domizo, we wish to know from you your experiences about this collaboration on Indian platform.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Mandip. I must say that this has been a great opportunity to engage on this particular platform. It has been a great learning experience these past 7 days. The nature of engagements were really at an impressive level. And the information that was being shared, I'm really inspired, even myself as a presenter. And I must say that I'm looking at this kind of seminar or workshop as a starting point to more collaborations. I'm looking at this as a starting point to us mapping out the practical steps where we can get people to collaborate not only at a local level, but also at an international level. I'm looking at us trying to move from the 26% to at least 50% of the people getting funding through grants in the coming year. I'm looking at a situation whereby we need to talk about those next steps to say, how do we take these ideas forward? How do we generate a centralized portal or a centralized database of all current funding? How do we prepare? For example, the Spencer Foundation is going to be having a deadline in March. How do you prepare for the Spencer Foundation? Who could be interested in that kind of funding? How can we bring all of them together? How can we have a session whereby we discuss the innovation, the ideas from the different angles and different topics? We identify we identify more calls for funding, we have more sessions of this particular nature. They could be shorter, but they'll be bringing in together people that could be interested in chasing after specific topics in the education, health, or various sectors that they are working from, who are presently part of this particular team. I'm really fired up to say that let's kick that something that is practical. Let's come up with practical steps. Let's apply what we've just learned in this particular session going forward, so that the knowledge that we've acquired at this particular stage doesn't go to waste. There are too many calls for proposals that have been showcased in this particular in these 7 days, and we cannot miss those calls for proposals. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. Let's fight together. Let's find something and work on something together. That's all I have to say for today. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Domizo, for your inputs, for your encouragement, and for getting connected with us in India. And we are definitely looking for better avenues and for your support. That's what is we all are wanting for. And as I had been saying, that research cannot be injected. It's an idea which needs to be incubated amongst all of us. We need to convert our ideas into our execution, and we need people, we need resources in fulfilling the process of this idea into execution. Thank you for your support. Let's all now hear some words of wisdom from Dr. Professor R.J. Kothari, who always had been a mentor, who always had been giving us the right directions for the research. And there are very few names on our tips when we talk about research. And I am sure each one of you, you know, Dr. Kothari is on our tips. Sir, welcome you on this platform, and please share your experiences and your wisdom with our participants.
Thank you very much. There are so many people, Dr. Manu Chadda, then Dr. Mandip Kochar, Bhagwan Bhai Balani from Mumbai principal, then my friend from CT, Dr. Pargat Karsha. Then also the session was inaugurated by my friend and CT Punjab chairperson, Khushvinder Singh, right? And finally, I was listening to the Lubna also. The name of Dr. Mintu Siha was also there. I know her very well since many years, and that college also I have visited many times. Professor Saif Ali Pandia's name was also taken, acknowledgement. I know all of them. Today, of course, I had a heavy day because 11 to 1, I was continuously busy with the PhD coursework at the MS University online, talking to them about the research. And this is an international event you have made. Really, real sense it is international because your speakers were also from international, participants were also international, and really a good FED program you conducted. That's you all deserve. Congratulations. So congratulations to the entire team, whosoever has contributed. I don't know how much time I can take, but I will say that you have discussed a lot about the PhD process and all the things. I have my own observations, and funding wise also, lots of funds are available. I'm experienced and party to it. Once I was sitting and sanctioning project at the Pune UGC regional office. I asked the director then that how much is the fund? He said by 610, whatever you can sanction, that is the fund. And I think by the end of a day, I sanctioned more than 2 crore rupees to the various researchers in entire India, Western region at least. So that is the fund available from University Grant Commission. Second, ICSSR. I think consecutively 3 years I visited ICSSR and I sanctioned lot many projects. But only thing what is wrong is number one, we are not applying. Number one, we are not applying. Those who are applying, they do not have a full clarity about the research proposal. Priority, we cannot identify. What are the priorities? Our priorities are changing. In 60, 70, we were working with this disadvantaged group. I think somewhere in 80 to 90, gender issues were studies. Then later ICT issues had come that we were discussing. Inclusive education now, that has come. And now people will bombard on online education. That how can this be replaced, or should we replace? Should we replace the teacher? Should we absolutely go with this? And that too, in a profession like teacher education, shall we go for it? There are many issues. So touch these issues, study the priorities. That is number one. That we are not doing. 80% is a rejection rate in research proposal. 80% project proposals are rejected. Why? Because proposal is not according to that standard. Proposal is not according to that standard. Clear means priority area is not identified. Steps of various proposals are not followed. Whatever the problems you have taken, problem for the study, that significance is not justified. Now, how will you justify this significance? That whether whatever the study you are studying or you have conducted, will it make any clientele change? Kuch fark padega? If yes, fine. Does it contributing some professional knowledge from it? Fine, right? Does it support some theories? Then fine. So we can say that problem must be significant as well as feasible. Feasible in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of availability, in terms of subjects availability. So this is what we are not doing, right? And subjects are not available at our place, guides are not available, If guides are available, their content knowledge about the research is not up to the mark. All these are the problems. So number one, wherever you go for any funding agency, go for priority. Which are the areas we should touch? That is number one. Then prepare a concrete proposal with a strong rationale and significance. If it is not significant, it is so conventional, then I think it will not taken up. They will not see even from the topic. So we should do this, number two. And number three, where are the errors located? Because Dr. Garcha, I told that I will be talking that what errors are committed in the research. Number one, that there are people, what errors? Number one, the problem is also selected in such a way that's so complicated. We don't follow APA. Now they say that a study and investigation and all these things are not necessary. That's all. Effectiveness on so and so. Objectives, research question, this should be properly written. But this is not being done. People write questions also, research questions also, and same is converted to the objectives. Then what are you specifying? Why you are writing these things? We are writing this because we want to specify research problem. That's a big caption in the research proposal. Specification of a research problem. N number of books they have written, how to write objectives, how to write research question. I think UV Flick is one who is talking a lot about the research question. Takman, Mandalan, these are the books, quite old, but they have talked a lot about this process of writing research proposal. But this we are not doing. Why you are writing research questions also? Then same is converted to the objectives. It doesn't make any difference. That your specification of research problem should be in such a way that what the statement of a problem you have written, it should be clearly specified. After you have written your delimitation, means you will start a statement of a problem, then you will write the objectives or the research question, then you will clarify your variables. After that, you will operationalize the variables, you will explain the terms, and then you are writing the delimitations of the study. So still we are not clear with the limitations and delimitations, right? That's the problem. There are people, they write only one caption, operationalization of the terms. See, all terms are not operationalization. The variable which you are trying to measure, outcome variable, dependent variable, with which of overt behavior you are trying to measure that is not being done. Everything, everybody, there are people, they write secondary education definition also, they will write. Class 9th study is taken from class 9, that definition, class 9 ki kya definition ki zarurat hai? That is also being written, right? And the words which really needs explanation, that is not done. And people are writing in this caption also, they are writing the theoretical definition. Sorry, my friends, theoretical definition will find place somewhere else. But when you specify a research problem, whatever you mean, you say Bombay City. Now, what do you mean by Bombay City? You say Ludhiana. What do you mean by Ludhiana? From which border to which border you are going? That is not being specified. So some definitions are explanation of the terms with reference to your thesis. That cannot be taken care by another. See, I have written, I have conducted some study in central Gujarat. Now somebody is also conducting another study in central Gujarat. He may differ in definition of central Gujarat. But if commitment is there, I want to measure the commitment, then I have to operationalize. So there are certain variables which can be operationalized. There are certain variables which needs to be explained. That we are not doing. So first, we are not correctly writing the objectives. Then we are not clarifying this definition. That's what is the great problem in this. Now, again, you can say that there are problems with small t and capital T and correlated T. Recently, I have seen one thesis doing PhD. Ho hi jayega doctor. He doesn't know what is small t and capital T. English में तो पता होगा small t, but statistics में कहा है. Garrett पढ़ो, page number 201 तक जाओ. You will get कि t एक होता है और capital T अलग होता है. It measures something else. अब t कब apply करना है? तो people don't know. एक ने pre-test post-test design कर लिया और independent t लगा दिया. Pre-test post-test design थी, only single group design, pre-test post-test, and which t was calculated? Independent t, that is x1, x bar minus y bar upon sigma 1 square upon n1 sigma 2 square upon n2 entire square root. That was written by that. Now this requires a correlated T. A PhD scholar is doing this mistake, and if his guide is also not looking to that, and sometimes the examiner also not looking because he is also not knowing. So you first check your fundamentals of the research. What is small t? What is capital T? When can we apply the T, correlated T and independent T? So this clarity is not there, and many stalwarts are coming mistakes, but degrees are awarded. I think I learned from All India Higher Education Survey that before 2 years, 34,000 PhDs have been awarded in various fields, not in education. 34,000 PhDs have been awarded. So are we going for this type of studies? That's why Dr. Narlikar in Pune, he said that no research is better than bad research. No research is better than bad research. So try to improve the quality of the research and don't commit this type of errors. Capital R is also different and small r is also different. Pura chapter hai carrot mein. Further methods of correlation. That's the title of the book. Chapter. That also people don't bother for that, right? And there are people, madam ने भी stability और बताया कि percentage क्या है. आज तक there are so many people, they had calculated percentages, but stability of percentage nobody has examined. कि ये percentage stable है कि नहीं. आपने बोल दिया 90% says this and this. No, stability of the percentage. Again, I will quote Henry Garrett. उसके एक पेज में दिया है, I think somewhere 296 or somewhere it is written that stability should be examined, stability of the percentage, but nobody does that. Percentage निकाल के काम करते रहते हैं, डॉक्टर भी हो जाते हैं. So I think a common course should be there for all guides also. This we should know, right? फिर then comes the sample size. What should be the sample size? I have seen a study where correlation was computed and sample size was 1000. I think absolutely, I don't know what to say. If sample size goes beyond 150, almost all correlations are coming significant. Almost all correlation. Even I had a book, I can tell you also, G.064 is also significant, and you write that, oh, it is highly significant. But in day-to-day language also, everyone knows that if correlation is 0.2 R, it is minimum. It cannot be qualified to be a significant. But these are the errors we are committing in this. So sample size in correlation, how much sample size is needed, that we should take care. Another point I would like to make in sample size, a big joke is going on in India that if you want to do MEd, then people will say, okay, go for a sample of 200. If you want to do MPhil, go for a sample of 500. And if you want to do PhD, go for a sample of 1000. I think absolutely a misconception is spread. I don't know by whom, but absolutely wrong things are there. From research to research, from types of research to types of research also, sample size is different. And guidelines wise, if at all you want to go for a social science research, where we want to go for, say, error acceptable. Now that is also no clarity. मैंने 50 लोगों से पूछा कि what is the accepted error? Error है ना, error. मैं error की ही बात कर रहा हूँ, lecture ही मेरा error पे है. But what is the error acceptable? So error acceptable is no clarity on that. What is the error acceptable? What you try to do, you have a population, a well-defined population. वहाँ भी गलतियां करते हैं लोग. आप PhD study को पढ़ो, so then they will write that population of present study is all students in secondary schools of 9th class in Mumbai. I said this is not a population. All student is not well defined. All means what? Because you are taking some portion of that, some percentage of that. So all is not needed. You write that there are 20,954 students in class 9th, and from that, kitne urban hai, kitne male hai, female hai. If you describe, that is the real population. but nobody does this, all students. So that's a great mistake, and such students are also awarded the degrees. Now from population, you try to draw a sample. We call a representative sample. And there are 4 or 5 characteristics of a representative sample. But that is also not checked, whether all the characteristics or populations are there or not, whether it is free from error due to bias, whether free from random sampling errors, whether transmission loss is there or not. So if these are there, then only you can say that your sample is not a bias sample, and it is a representative sample. And what is an adequate sample? So here comes the error. What is the error acceptable? So population, and then you come to sample. You study the sample, and from this study, you want to compute statistic. वो भी लोगों को पता नहीं है, कई लोगों तो still it is statistics बोलते हैं, statistic S नहीं है, गुजराती में से सांख्यिकी बोलते हैं. So you calculate this statistic, and then you apply inferential statistics. That is statistics. So statistics is science estimates and probability. And your statistic without S मैंने बोला, that is सांख्यिकी. That you calculate either in terms of the mean, median, mode, or correlation. Then you apply the inferential statistics, and then you estimate parameters. So these 2 words are also, many researchers, they are not clear. पूरा काम कर दिया, mechanically कर दिया, but what is statistic? Okay, सब statistics तो मैंने बाहर से करवाया, computer center से. I am not talking of that statistic. Statistic जो population measure है, population का measure, the measure of sample, that is statistics. We study that, and from that we infer parameter. So parameter or statistic, ये दोनों में क्या अंतर होना चाहिए? How much error is acceptable? How much error is acceptable? If you accept 1% error, remember, Cochrane का book पढ़ना पड़ेगा, a very good book on sampling, Cochrane. So if you want that I will with 1% error, so this is also not clear. That's why I say that a common course for guide and students should also be taken up. And I think if Punjab city can do that, what are the errors committed and how to rectify that? That will be a great contribution, I think, and city can do, and I can help. So 1% error, that is between your parameter, which you estimate. Parameters are estimated with the help of inferential statistics. And what you computed statistic, not S. Statistic is computed. And what is the error between the statistic and parameter? If it is 1%, N. Now, what is the level of significance you are working? This is the error, and nobody knows this. What is at what level? I said I will be working on the 0.5 point level of confidence. 0.5 level of confidence means 95% level of confidence. 95% means what? वो भी रिसर्चर को पूछा तो कि साहब मैं स्टैटिस्टिक्स आदमी नहीं हूँ. अरे मैंने बोला यार रिसर्च का आदमी है, आपको you should know this. If similar experiment is conducted 100 times, then your results will be 95 times within a particular range. Confidential limit, that is also Garrett has given, I think in the first chapter only. So if you are working on 95% level of confidence, and that is significant level, and 1% error is acceptable, then there is a formula. In that formula, if you put, then you will get that sample size required is 384. 1% error is acceptable with 95% level of confidence, that is 0.5. Then 384 size is required, provided it should be homogeneous group. Second, so मैंने बताया ना कि the popular joke, master degree 200, MPhil degree 500, and PhD degree 1000. That's not coming here. So now, if you say that I want to little more precise, I don't want 1% error, I want only 0.5% error, 0.5 error, and I want to work at 99% level of confidence, then your sample size required is 2,663. Now, how many of us follow this? If 0.5% error is acceptable, 1/2, and we are working at 99%, that is 0.01 level of significance, sample size required is 2,663. And If you want only 1% error and 0.05, then 384 is required. But what foolishness we are doing? We are testing without bothering this. We are testing hypothesis at both the levels. So you are not qualified to do this because your sample size doesn't guarantee this. So these are the errors we are committing in sampling. Not only that, I have seen many theses. They say that stratified sampling was used. Some people, they are overwise. They write stratifies random. Stratified is always random. Remember, stratified is always random. That belongs to the family of the probabilistic sampling. But they write stratified sampling was used. But nowhere you will find tables indicating stratified. I have seen many theses that suppose you have divided the entire group into urban and rural. Urban and rural, again, you have divided into the, say, girls and boys. Girls and boys again divided into a local medium, that is regional medium and English medium. Then how many stratas are there? So from a single table, you must be able to, first you bifurcate that, okay, 20,000 students of class 9 are there, divided them into urban and rural. Again, urban, and everywhere, each cell, you write the size of the, say 9,000 is the rural and 11,000 is the urban. Then again in urban, again two parts, boys and girls. So indicate size of boys, that out of 11,000 urban, how many are there? So 6,000 girls and 5,000 boys. And again that local medium and English medium, I have to divide. So finally, if you have a 12, 16 stratums, and each stratum size should be there, but you have not written population itself, then how can you write this stratified sampling? This requires clear-cut, well-defined population, but that is not being done. So these are the errors we are committing and there are people, they don't bother about the population also. Population is not written in the thesis. Whom you want to infer, that is not written. So that is very sad. And second is about the tools. When we go for tools, people write that people nowadays started sending online also. Earlier offline they were sending comments. हमारा comments को कोई देखता नहीं है, छोड़ो, ये तो process है. It is a ritual. ब्राह्मण जैसे विधि करवाता है, ऐसा ritual बन जाता है. That should not be there. It should be thoroughly taken. So validation is done, but not ethically. What they write, suggestions given by the experts were taken care of. नहीं बताओ यार. मैं तो I always say that आपका tool का पहला draft, you should put the first draft of your tool and second draft or final draft also. That in first draft there were 45 statements, and in second draft it has increased or reduced. Why? Because one expert said that statement number 1 and 5 are repeated. These are overlapping or what? So detailed analysis of this should be done, but that is not being done. Second error is you establish the reliability and validity. Say tool is reliable and validity. But in appendix, if you see, scores are not available. Pre-test, post-test, or whatever the reliability, KR20, or whatever you have done, split half, that should be indicated. Raw data should not be written here in the text of the thesis, but at the end, you should write the scores. But that is also being not done. So, and first draft and second draft or final draft, both drafts should be available in the appendix. That also never happens. Final. So these are unethical parts in research. Nowadays, John Best has also added one chapter on ethics in research and many more. I think Creswell has also written a chapter on ethical consideration. So these are unethical things we are using, right? So that should be done. Both the drafts should be there. And second thing, I think pretty old tools are being used nowadays. How much old tool is used? One of my students asked me that how old tools should we use? I said, you open Creswell 2012, I think 4th edition, and see page number 158, and last 3 lines you read, you will get the answer. That more than 5 years old tools should not be used. So many things are changing. So that is, but even then we are using that. And details of standardizations are also not given, right? So that this should be done very clearly, then only it is possible to do that. And in experimental design, what errors people are committing, I had come to know that in experimental design, there are certain variables which has a threat to the uh, external and internal design validity of the research. And majority of people, they don't know reliability, and they know reliability and validity, but the moment it comes to the internal validity and external validity, I think they are not able to do it. You may refer any book on research methodology, and you will get chapter on this. And in that chapter, it is clearly described that external validity and internal validity, how this should be checked, and which are the variables which we need to take care of while. So this is not being done. And assumptions, nobody bothers for the assumption. When can you apply the t-test? You are going for non-probability sampling. You are using a purposeful sampling, and you say, I would like to use T. Now that doesn't allow. Someone says there is one Glaser ka book hai. They say that in certain cases you can do that, but there are certain assumptions for that. Assumptions for T, assumptions for ANOVA. They don't examine. It is left to the concerned party who does this. So this needs to be done very carefully. And lastly, I will say that overall comments, reference section is very poor. Website ka list they put a list of websites. No, that is not needed. From this website, which author you have selected and when, that should be written clearly. Website list is available everywhere, but you have consulted them, at what time retrieved, and all other things, that should be there. So poor reference section. In many theses I have seen, I had experience of examining 215 theses of ICSSR projects. So a very poor section. And sometimes the author's name appear in the text, is not same in the reference section. It's not same in the reference section. And most of the people, the book title of this book, Research Methodology by Best and Khan, most of the people write Khan, K-H-A-N. It is K-A-H-N, but I don't know. And they are also getting the awards. Professor, Srimati, doctor, all these things we do not write in the thesis, but then also we write it. It's not. Once you write Kothari is Kothari only. Kothari 1985 investigated so and so. And in the reference section, Kothari RG, full details of the reference should be given. But this is what we are not doing. And as a result, there are so many errors in the research. And even the proposal, a strong rationale is not clarified. Rationale means why. There are people, they write why of a thesis, need of a thesis, importance of a thesis. I don't know. You write only significance of the research, that why this particular study is conducted. Then I think things will be very, very clear. So these are some of the points I brought to your kind attention, that if you wanted to become a good researcher, I think you should take care of all these things. And some of the points can be sometime explained to this, that what is the quality of research, that what type of errors we commit in research, in procedure part also, in reference section also, in proposal part also, and in introductory part also. So these are some of the errors which often we are committing. I think we should do away from this, and we should try to read the books. That's why I said that, Garrett, page to page, I said, you see correlation, I see, then you read the page number 201, sample 167, right? So stability of percentage, this also we have to see. So if you can do this, I think the quality of research will still further improve, and more funds you will get from the funding agency. With this, I conclude, and thank you everybody for inviting me, because this is also like a parental institute for me. I have visited this institution for many purposes. 2-3 times I have visited, and I know many friends. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Dr. Pargat, sir, do you want to give some inputs?
No, ma'am. Please, I think after Professor R.G. Kothari ji, I'm not in position to say a single word regarding research. Sir is itself a knowledge source, and sir has given recommendation of so many books in a short talk to improve the quality of research. Sir, I think a real motive of the concluding day was incomplete without your address, sir. We are really thankful for your wonderful address, and I request Dr. Manu ma'am for the formal vote of thanks.
सर ऐसा फील हुआ कि वी आर बैक टू आवर एमएड क्लास एंड आई रियली वांट टू बी योर स्टूडेंट आई वांट ऐसा लग रहा था कि एमएड दोबारा से करने को मन कर रहा है एंड दैट आल्सो फ्रॉम यू इट वाज अ वंडरफुल सेशन beautifully presented. Thank you so much. And as Pargat sir is saying, truly sir, had we missed your lesson, the actual motive of FDP would not have been fulfilled. So now the 7th day, in just last 15 to 20 minutes, I'm realizing that we've actually, the aim of our FDP has been fulfilled. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And for the formal vote of thanks, on behalf of GHG Khalsa College of Education, Gurusar Sadhar, in collaboration with Council for Teacher Education, Punjab and Chandigarh Chapter, Bombay Teachers Training College, Mumbai, and the Best Health Solution, Johannesburg, South Africa, which are our new collaborators, Best Health Solutions. I would first of all give glory to the Almighty God for keeping us all safe and healthy. I extend heartfelt thanks to and special gratitude to our revered Professor R.G. Kothari sir for his valedictory address. Thank you for highlighting the problems that we researchers are facing in the field of research, especially fund arising and fundraising. Thank you, sir, for sharing the priority areas of research and the procedure of writing research proposals and research projects. Surely, sir, we need to improve the quality of research. And mentors like you can guide us for this. So we'll be always looking forward for your help, sir. And thank you, sir. We pray to God for your health and your prosperity and well-being, and wish you a very happy and a long life, sir. Thank you for summarizing such a vast topic in such a lucid and a beautiful manner. Thank you once again, sir. My heartfelt gratitude to all the revered resource persons for sharing their valuable inputs with their excellent presentations and making this faculty development program very interesting and meaningful. Thank you, and you truly have opened up new avenues for all of us as educationists. I extend heartfelt thanks to all the participants for their committed and enthusiastic participation and interaction. We indeed are indebted to you all and give you 100% credit in making this faculty development program successful. Thank you for being so active and responsive. My special thanks and regards to Dr. Bhagwan Balani and his BTTC team. We are really thankful to Dr. Balani and his hardworking team for their cooperation rendered through this collaboration, which commenced in 2018. Your assistance and enthusiasm, along with your team, Dr. Balani, has always been overwhelming in organizing various collaborative activities. Thank you, Dr. Mandeep, for introducing and executing this collaboration and enhancing the efforts in bringing both the institutions together. Heartfelt congratulations and special thanks to the Best Health Solutions, Johannesburg, South Africa, for their collaboration and support. Thank you, Dr. Demizo. Thank you, Mr. David, for your support and for your guidance and for sharing your inputs on this much needed theme. Thank you, Dr. Demizo. Special gratitude to Council for Teacher Education, Punjab and Chandigarh chapter, and especially Dr. Khushwinder Kumar for their collaboration and rendering guidance and moral support. Thank you, in the end, thank you, Principal Dr. Pargat Singh Garsha and all my wonderful colleagues for your untiring efforts and collaboration. I end my words with a small message. Friends, let's all be hopeful and proactive. One should be resourceful and make efforts to generate additional resources from the other resources. So friends, be hopeful, be optimistic, be a learner. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, collaborators. Thank you for being with us all the time. Now I think we can all stand up for the national anthem.
भारत जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय